I'm watching the live stream, listening to it, so I don't know how far behind it actually is in real time. Okay, yeah, it says 3:10, 3:09. Oh, yeah, he's putting the bacon in the pan. Oh, I can hear myself on the live stream. Yeah. Oh, I think because okay, I get it. Because I come through your desktop audio. You have to for the thing, don't you? We'll figure it out.
Hey, there we go. Ooh, PigsPod in the live stream. ADHD. 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 Chat settings. Ah, woo! Look at that. Look at the beard. Look at that. Got soul patch. I have you in whatever fits the whatever fits the overlay. No, I think you should. We did, yeah, I would say less than 10 because all I remember was the infamous therapy couch episode. Oh, am I? Oops. I guess it answers that question.
Yeah, now you know.
Yeah, again,
You
now,
got to have that unmuted.
yeah, as I say, now we answered that question for future.
Remember last week we were talking about not last week when you weren't here. Q was sick last week.
Q is still
He's
sick.
better now. Q's still sick, but he's better. He doesn't
True.
sound as sick. No, we were talking about We do this like therapy. Remember the time on the couch you were like laying across your couch for the
As I say, it all began when Mom didn't hold me enough and Dad held me too much. And I remember you had that like strange ass fucking Ken doll.
Yeah, that thing was the best. I gotta turn you down. I think you're coming through.
Yeah, I'll say I'm hearing myself.
I don't want to echo. There we go. I still have that Ken doll somewhere. Yeah, I told my wife you can't throw it away. If you throw it away, we're over. It's done.
That's it. That's the what you call it? That's the deal breaker.
Yeah, that's the ultimatum.
Mm.
All right, you can hear me now, right?
Should be able to.
Let me double check. I'll check. Yep. All right.
Yeah.
I checked on the stream. All right.
Yep. So now I know I need to fix the or not, I need to change the desktop audio for when we do the opening soon. Either that or I might just leave it and just
You
have.
can just change it in the scenes. Have it muted on one scene and then unmuted on the other
Yeah,
scene.
I guess I need to fix that. Well, like I said, that's item 151 on the glitch list.
All right.
So
That's
when are you gonna push the
that.
button?
I'm getting there.
Like, goddamn, I've been waiting.
Making sure we're all ready.
Are we
All
all
right.
we all ready? Ready already?
We're ready.
Let's do it.
Live and fuck it. We'll do it live.
Doing it live. You write it, I'll do it.
All right. Go ahead, Fred.
I'm in my zone when I'm gaming at home. My controller plugged in and my gadgets turned on. Let's keep on hating. I don't think they want it, and I never run from nothing. But yeah, we want it. You know gamers run it, gamers run it, gamers run it, run it. I know gamers run it, gamers run it, gamers run it, run it. We know gamers run it, run it. They know gamers run it, run it. Gaming every day. So we run it, gamers run it.
Yeah,
Gamers run it.
That's right, Fred. I hope you turn. We're gonna have to figure out his levels every week
God
because holy
damn.
fuck, Jesus. Normally he doesn't blast me, but Jesus, that time you did. Holy cow! All right, welcome to PigsPod. I almost said session 80. Session 80, the therapy session. No, episode 80. I forgot what the fucking word for it was for a second.
Oh, it's pathetic. How you
Episode 80. I'm all right.
been? Sorry, I'm still kind of snarfly.
That's okay. We'll forgive you this time. Yeah, sorry, that was a little loud there, Fred. We'll get him turned down for
Sorry,
next time.
Switch.
Holy
That
shit. Let's see how loud your speakers really go. We'll call that the headphone test. No, I've been fine. I haven't been sick. Everyone else has been sick everywhere, though, at work, and my kids, and my wife, and everybody.
I'm sick. Lady Q is sick. Little Q is sick. Everybody at work is sick. Like everyone is sick, and like I
It's a
tested.
government
It's
conspiracy.
gotta be.
I'm telling
it's gotta
you.
be. Along with it was given to us by the bird drones. But no, I tested twice negative for COVID, and one of my coworkers he tested negative for COVID. So it's not COVID. Honestly, I think it's the flu. So whatever it
The
is,
government flu.
it's like I told Lady Q that she didn't know what this was like. She said, "How is that?" I said, "You had an epidural when you had Isabel, so you don't know what this pain is like." So
Has it been that bad?
it's
I
been
thought you just lost your taste.
no, I know I haven't lost my taste, didn't lose my smell. I've just been like
Oh.
super congested.
You haven't started listening to Justin Bieber, have you?
Baby, baby, baby.
Oh, man. Yeah, he's got COVID, guys. He's lost his taste. Oh, no.
Did you ever watch the smash up between was it was Justin Bieber and was it Slipknot? That was the
No.
I'll have to find it and send it to you because it was really good. Maybe that could be our outro.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Like a mashup, like one of those YouTubers
Yeah.
that like throws stuff together
Yeah.
that's not supposed to go together, but it's perfect.
Yeah, it's I think it's them and Slipknot. If I can find it.
Oh. Yeah, maybe we'll put that for the outro. So before we started the episode today, Q said he wanted to come clean, and I'm so proud of him. He's gonna come out. He's been hiding his secrets in the closet.
Yeah,
He's been keeping them to himself for too long, and he's gonna come out now. He's gonna tell us all the truth. What's really been going on?
No, I just wanted to talk to you about. I wanted to. I seriously did. I wanted to talk to you about the. They call them accusations. I think you said you were following them on Twitter a little bit.
The
The
accusations? I've never heard
accusations.
that
You
word
haven't heard
though.
that? Yeah. I mean, it keeps popping up on TikTok, so that's why I was like the accusations. So it's these, it's these streamers. Mostly it is centered in like the Call of Duty, those types of games, where you have streamers that are using, different types of. I don't like calling them hacks because it's not hacks. It's just cheats.
Yeah.
Aim bots or the wall hacks or whatever. And there's one particular streamer that just keeps showing up on my TikToks, and you said kept seeing it on Twitter. It was the female Twitch streamer Nadia,
Yeah.
and
She's been coming up a lot lately.
and so her whole thing is she claims herself to be the greatest COD player alive, and it's because she's just so good, and she likes to put in like I don't follow Twitter, so I don't see it on Twitter, but I see it shows up on TikTok all the time. And it's she's like I'm live right now and I'm dropping 50 bombs in whatever their version of battle royale is. I don't know, don't
Yeah.
care.
Warzone.
Warzone, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm
I knew what
dropping
you meant.
I'm dropping 50 bombs in Warzone right now because I'm the greatest Warzone player alive. All right, whatever. And then now she's being accused of using a VPN to create bot lobbies, and that's how she's like so good. And then
Yeah.
she got called out at one of like the upcoming Modern Warfare's like release presentation where they had a bunch of streamers and they had them all playing in the battle royale, and she just played like absolute garbage.
Yeah, no, that was the big thing that like brought back all the accusations because I've heard it all. She's using a controller, or just has a controller plugged in, so she gets the, aim assist. She's using aimbot. She's doing this and that, and like,
Yeah.
and then at the live event, it didn't help. She played like absolute ass.
Right.
But at the same time, to be fair, a lot of people there were also really good. I don't know.
Well, I mean, my thing is, she claims to be the best, and then she shows up at a place like this and gets destroyed. Which,
Yeah, so she's not the best.
so she's not the best. But
So
see,
she's hacking. You heard it here
yeah.
first.
Well, see, here's where I wanted to give you my thoughts while like kind of getting your feelings on it as well. I see
Okay.
I think this is amazing marketing. Like just flat out, she
Could be.
is. She comes, well, I'm the best there is, and then cut over here to her being in the VPN or in the bot lobbies using a VPN. People are like, one dude found her playing in like Brazilian servers, to create these bot lobbies, and she's based out of somewhere in Florida. And I just kind of look at it as like, the old adage, there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Yeah.
I really
That's not true, really.
well, I don't think it's true in today's reality. I think in previous, in different eras that really was the case. But I think I think this is a marketing genius. I think this is genius.
Yeah. Well, maybe if she's done it on she might not even done it on purpose. She just might just be smart enough to. She's taking advantage of all the opportunity.
Well,
That,
I absolutely believe she is cheating.
oh yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind that she's cheating. She's using aimbot, or she's using the wall hacks, or whatever it is that she's doing. Whatever she's doing, or to make herself to play the way she's playing, she's absolutely cheating. But I think she's doing it, and she's letting these accusations just run amok, because why wouldn't you? Because she still
Yeah.
gets the views, she still gets this, the followers, people are still showing up. Here we are, you and I don't play Call of Duty, we don't play that game at all, and
I
here
don't play that trash.
yeah, exactly. And then here you and I are talking about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Well, I've seen it all the time, and I follow a couple Warzone players, but only because I've known them from before Warzone, so they're friends. I don't follow them because I'm like, ooh, what's going on in Warzone?
right.
What's Nadia doing today? I don't do that either. It's just the only reason I've heard so much about it is because I'm on Twitter all the time, and she's always fucking on there. Nadia this, Nadia that, new new proof, new
Yeah,
stream, follow me live. There's other people too. What the fuck was his name?
well, I mean, it even like people like Ninja were talking about it. Like,
Can't
he has
remember his
come
name.
out. He's come out in support of her, going, she's got to be as good as she is because look at the numbers she's putting up.
Censor.
Yeah,
Have you heard the thing with censor?
yeah,
Censor's. You say she's taking advantage of it. Censor's taking advantage of it because he's done like 2 or 3 different streams now where I have proof that Nadia's cheating, and then he's just taking advantage of all these people coming to his stream to check him out,
right. And
and
I think it is, and I think
he
he's
doesn't
doing
have
it.
anything.
I think he's doing it with her blessing. Like I
Oh,
really
he
do.
could be.
I
Maybe.
think
I don't
yeah,
know.
I think all of it is this is a really well like put out marketing scheme.
Yeah.
Because that's what you have to do now. You can't just be a streamer because everybody's streaming. What's what we're doing.
Yeah, you got to do something different.
You
So
have
what we got to do is we got to start a scandal. PigsPod will blow up.
exactly.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I'll get some. All you need is you need somebody half decent looking.
Well,
Neither of us. 2 different people. You
yeah.
say moi, I say neither of us.
Well, what it is we're not the real Q-Stick and Oreo.
No.
Yeah, we're just
We're stand-ins.
we're
You know, like
stand-ins, yeah. Stunt
you know,
doubles.
like Santa at the mall.
Yeah.
That's not Santa. I hate to break it to you. I, I know you went and sat on his lap and you told us your deepest, darkest secrets and all your desires and everything. That wasn't Santa. That was just some dude named Randy that just happens to work there and got drunk the night before, and you told him everything.
Yeah, and he now knows.
That's
and
not Santa.
yeah, and he's going to use all that information against you now. So that's what we are. We're not the
Yeah,
real
that
Q
we're,
and Oreo.
no, we're the mall version of Q and Oreo.
I'll take that. That works.
Come sit on my lap and tell me all your deepest, darkest secrets.
What's
Come
up,
on over,
Rabble?
Q. I'm ready to hear it all. Whisper it right here in Santa Oreo's ear.
I think that Nadia is a genius. There you go. Did it. That's
yes.
my secret. That's my secret.
I think, just from, I guess I'm outside of the COD world, like I said. I don't really care either way if she's hacking or not. I don't know. So when you brought it up, I was thinking about it. Okay, there's 2 different. I have a problem with hacking, but okay, I. You know how we've talked about hacking before and
Right.
cheating, and our stance, or my stance at least, I believe yours too, has always been we're against it. Why are you
100%.
doing it?
Yeah.
I've said before, like, remember back in Halo days, you could hack and like super bounce and have dual wield 2 snipers and just 316 just up in the air. I get that if you're doing it just for fun, like here and there. But I don't get it if that's what you're doing and you're logging online and ruining everyone's experience. And that's always been my thing. But I will say this, as far as Nadia, who's naughty. Yeah, naughty. Yeah.
Nadia. Oh,
Naughty
there's an
Nadia.
OnlyFans in her future, I see.
She's probably already started it. If not, I'm gonna start it. I'll check. As far as her and like a bunch of these other streamers, which this is why they hate matchmaking. You're trying to make content, and it's not very good content if you like drop, you get 1 kill and you die.
Right.
You drop, get 1 kill, die immediately. So either you get really fucking good, which helps a lot if it's your full-time job and you can just play for 16 hours a day.
Right.
That makes it a lot easier to get. Or you cheat. So like you say, Nadia might be smart. She might be smart twofold. She might have been cheating in the first place to get, attention. Hey, it's a female streamer. Oh, I'm not just looking at her. She's
Right.
also pretty good.
And
And then as it came out, oh, she's cheating.
and she does a moderately decent job of like not sexualizing herself. So
Yeah.
that kind of takes that out.
So she has to be good.
Right. Well, let me
And
ask
she is good, but by cheating. So
Well, let me
does
ask
that
you-
make it okay? I don't know. I'm just saying I understand why maybe someone in her position would cheat.
Well, let me ask you a hypothetical. And,
Okay.
and I guess it's not even really a hypothetical if this is what's happening, but it doesn't matter. That's semantics. If she is creating bot lobbies via VPNs,
Hmm.
and then using her aimbot and her wall hacks and everything that she does. And she's in a bot lobby. She's the only one in the bot lobby, or maybe her and her friends are the only ones in the bot lobby. Is that cheating? Would you consider that cheating? Because she's not doing, she's not
If
doing anything that's going to directly affect any other players.
no, if you're doing it for content creation, I guess that's fine.
I know it's like a weird, like
Yeah, it's a
splitting the
weird gray area.
right.
I guess that's fine. I don't know. And does it make it better if you say it beforehand?
I think it
I don't
would.
know. I feel like I feel like that's where it can switch from one side to the other from the gray area. If you're not saying anything and you're acting like it's real, and I'm really this fucking good. Look at me shitting on all these kids. Teabag, teabag.
Right.
Dip, potato chip. And
Right.
it turns
I
out
think
you're in a
I think
bot
it's
lobby.
clam dipping for her, but it's point
Yeah,
taken.
yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Whatever. But at the same time, you saying she's smart. On the flip side of things, again, she also gains attention by not saying anything, and then it comes out, and then she probably gets even more publicity
Yeah.
from the secret coming out, and everyone going to check it out and check her out and see what it's all about.
Yeah. I just
I don't know.
it's just really I've been thinking about that for like the last, I guess maybe the last week. As Censor was putting out that content, because he did a video on YouTube about a week and a half ago that was
Yeah,
like, here's all of my evidence of her cheating. And then what really kind of pushed me over the edge is she did a TikTok of it was I don't know, some meme where she's like running from the police, and it's like, when they do it it's completely okay, but when I do it it's a problem. And it's
oh, she's calling out other streamers.
yeah, calling out other streamers and basically saying, hey, which to me that's her acknowledging that the accusations are true. And
Yeah,
then she's doing that whole flip around. It's like, well, I'm doing it and it's a problem, but look at all these other people that are doing it. Nobody's calling them out. But in my response to her for that, I would say, well, yeah, because no one else is being this like flamboyant about the situation. Let's
yeah,
just say someone like Ninjas is doing that. He's not advertising it. He's
yeah,
not, he's not presenting himself being the greatest player ever, while all this is going on. So it's
well,
like,
yeah.
but I'm so torn about it because
It's hard again too, because even if let's say you do it the other way, you don't do it the naughty way. You don't do it the naughty way, where you pretend it's real. Let's say you do it the other way, and you come out immediately and say, "I'm cheating. Check out what you can do with cheating." Then that feels like that's also bad, if
right.
not worse, because then you're advocating, "Hey, look at these. Look how cool it is
Yeah.
when you aimbot."
Well, she's doing it in a very sterile setting. Like, she's only
Yeah,
doing it against bots, so what's the problem? It's no different than, like, using all of the GTA cheats in single player GTA. So,
yeah.
like, it's not,
If sh-
but then on the other hand, too, is I'm really curious about the stance of is it Ubisoft? Are they the ones that's over it?
Activision.
Whoever it is. Fucking, once again, I don't play these games. But what's their stance on it? Is it
They don't like it.
because you would think that
They chase in legal action. They sue people that make the hacks. They'll ban you if they find out you're hacking.
and that's the other thing too, and I think that's where Ninja came out and said, these companies are all over this all the time. So if she's cheating, she would have been banned by now. So that's my next question is, okay, maybe she's not cheating, and but then it doesn't explain her abilities outside of her own sterile setting.
Yeah, I
I just
think it would be different too if you did it like as a character, and maybe she is. Maybe she's doing it as a, you know,
she's like a caricature of streamers. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, and that could very
But
well be.
it's not obvious. Maybe like in a year or two she comes out and goes, "Ha, I was making fun of you guys."
Yeah, It's kind of like the Doctor Disrespect persona, how he is
Yeah.
this absolute asshole, but in all reality, he should be protected in the same realm as like Steve Irwin, Bob Ross, those types, because he is such a like genuinely good person. So
Yeah. I mean, other
I'm, a,
than
I'm a,
cheating on his wife, but yeah.
well, I don't care about that. That's not my problem.
Excuse my arm there.
I'm not his wife, so it's not my problem.
Oh, you're not?
Yeah, it's like,
I thought you were his wife. You look a lot like her.
I mean, it's come out that Steve Irwin was doing a lot of his filming and whatnot. He was high on mushrooms the entire time, so
you can't do that either?
apparently not.
You can't have any fun in these fucking days. I'm trying to move my cord here. Sorry, peoples. It's fucking right my way. All right.
But yeah, I just
I don't know. Was Steve Irwin a character, though? I guess he kind of was, but it also feels like he was being genuine. That's who he really was.
well, I mean, when you're high as balls, it's hard to not be genuine.
That's true. I guess so. Did I move this?
I don't know.
we go.
I mean, it's just something that number one, I figured it was great content for the podcast, but number two, it's like I don't really care. Like she can do whatever she wants to do because it's not affecting me. I'm not playing that game, and even if I was playing that game, it still wouldn't affect me because she's doing it in a VPN, so she's by herself. So who cares? But
Yeah, I hadn't heard that part of it. Is she always doing it on like private servers, or is that something?
Well, that's the accusation of why she's so good is because she's doing it in bot lobbies.
Oh, is that why she's good?
Yeah, that's the accusation. Is she can drop 50 bombs when everybody in the damn lobby's a bot. It's like what you and I were doing back in Apex back in the day. We were shitting on kids. No, we weren't. We were shitting on bots, but it was fun, and you can tell that she's having fun. And that isn't that the purpose of playing video games.
I think to get rid of all this, and it's crazy. This will hop on your segue, Q. We're gonna segue to a different topic.
Like a bantha.
By the way, Segway's owned by a Chinese company now. Anyways, Ninebot.
Take your word for it.
Anyways, we could solve all this, and we could help casual people that aren't streamers enjoy gaming more, and you could help streamers enjoy gaming more, and you could fix the content drought. You could do all of that by taking out matchmaking or skill-based matchmaking in social playlists.
Yes.
That shouldn't be a thing. I don't know why. I don't know who started it, but I think it really took off when like Battle Royale started to become a thing because they were like, we need to fix this. There's people coming in and they get 25 fucking kills and they're just shitting on these casual players. And in your head, like on paper, when you first think of it, you go, we're protecting the casuals. That's why they made it. We're protecting the casuals. We're protecting the everyday.
Right.
We're protecting the moms and dads that we're protecting the workforce. We're protecting all the people that can only play maybe, a couple matches or an hour or two at most a day. We're protecting them. You think that's what you're doing. And it might sometimes work like that, but all you're doing is you're making every single person in every playlist, social or not, ranked or not, you're making them all face equally skilled players, which again sounds good on paper until you realize now it's a complete sweat fest for everybody. If all I ever face are people that are equally skilled to me, I can't even have fun or relax. If all you ever face is people as skilled as you can't relax. The same with the streamers. If all they ever face is other streamers that are playing the game 14, 16 hours a day, nobody's having fun. You think on paper it sounds right. You think it sounds good. We're going to protect the innocents. That's what they think, Mm-hmm. But it's done the exact opposite. Everyone hates it. Especially in social playlists. I'd rather go into a social playlist and even if it was 50-50, if one game I get absolutely shit on and go, damn, those fucking guys were good. Imagine in Halo you lost 50-3. But you almost start having fun towards the end of it. Around like 30-3, you're like, fuck, dude, we suck. By the end, when it's still 50-3, you're like, holy shit, those guys were good. That was kind of... We should rewatch that film. I want to see how they spawn trapped us so hard. Uh, and but then the same thing, like the streamers,
Right.
occasionally instead of being sweaty every time and then having to result to possibly cheating or just playing it in the middle of the night to record videos so they can get 20 bombs because nobody's on, or you know using VPNs or changing servers so they can get more kills. They don't even have to do that now because it's just random. They might get a game where 3 or 4 other streamers are in the lobby and they might have to actually try, and then they might get some games where you and I happen to be in it and we get fucking shit on.
Mm-hmm.
But at least it sounds unfair, but it's fair. It's it's based on your skill.
I wouldn't use the word fair. I would use the word balanced.
Yeah, that's a good word for it.
You
Maybe
know.
it's not fair. It's not fair, but it's balanced. It's purely based on your skill. If you're good, then you win. If you're trash, you don't make it very far. That's balanced. That's
Right.
how it's supposed to be. By forcing everybody's hand to now everyone, every single match has to face equal ranked players, whether you're in ranked or not. I get it if you're playing in ranked. That's how it should be. That's how it always was in like Halo 2, Halo 3 days.
Right.
I'm a level 48. I'm trying to make my grind to 50. I'm facing other level 48s.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard as fuck to get my 50.
Right.
That's how it should be.
As a 48, if you want to be a 49, you need to be beating 48s.
Yeah.
You know, and
And
that
again,
makes sense.
yeah, and again, you think, well, in the social playlist, we don't want the 48 to accidentally, run into level 10s. Why not?
Yeah.
Let them experience what it's like to actually be good. Maybe they'll learn something from it.
I've had games where I've learned, like, oh, look at this guy's moving in this direction, or look, man, how did he get up there? You know,
Yeah.
or just
Or at the very least, they almost need to turn it down. Imagine like a chess tournament, right? There's a big possibility, depending on the layout of the chess tournament, and depending how it is, if it's not just invitations at all, there's a good possibility in the early rounds of like a chess tournament, you're gonna face a grandmaster,
right.
and you're gonna get absolutely destroyed, and then you're gonna look at it, and depending how disciplined you are, you might study it and look at what you did and what he did and
Yeah.
figure out what the fuck went wrong.
Look at this opening
But
that he did that I never even
yeah,
imagined, or
but
yeah,
imagine if you sat down at a chess tournament and the guys organizing it said, well, all the grandmasters are only going to face grandmasters and you're only going to face people at your level. Again, it makes sense, but you don't learn anything. Every game, you just barely squeak by or barely lose, which
right.
is almost more frustrating when you're barely losing every game. And that comes back to team games like Halo 4v4. When you're barely losing games, it
You see,
fucking
yeah. I would rather lose by 20 than lose by 2.
well, also if you're the top player on your team, and especially the way Halo does it is the worst out of any of them, I'd say. The amount of games I've seen where somebody like an Onyx player or something is paired with like 3 bronze players because it's trying to level out the lobby, and then the fucking Onyx player has 38 kills out of the 50 and they still lost.
Yeah.
What is that doing for the bronze players or the Onyx player? Neither of them had a good time. The bronze players were playing in a lobby they shouldn't have. They're getting shit on the entire time. The Onyx player is sweating his fucking balls off to try and keep them alive and win. Like, I don't understand why Halo does it. Or any game does it for the matter, but especially Halo.
Well, I guess in one of the other things too, especially with the way like battle royales have kind of grown to be like the gold standard in gaming to an extent. You end up with you end up with basically the same situation where if you are a lower skilled player, you're going to play hundreds of games before you get a win just because you've got to slog your way through these really good players where you would hope that you would at least given the opportunity to at least win one.
Yeah.
And it makes a lot of sense. I definitely see what you're saying. 10 years ago, if we had this conversation, I think I would disagree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah,
That
I think Battle Royale is the biggest. Arena shooters, it makes the most sense that it shouldn't be there at all, maybe. Battle royales are hard because if you have a pool of 100 random every time, I feel like there's always going to be a really good player in there. So, like you said, you might play 100 fucking games before you win. How many people are going to put up with that type of emotional abuse and keep playing that game? So then I get it. I get it again from the developer standpoint. But at the very least, what they should do, and this is my complete amateur, no idea what I'm talking about, just guesstimate of what I would do. Expand the pool. At the very least, at least do that. So now your grandmasters are playing with, mid range. But then your mid range can also play low range. But then at the very least, your low range, at most, they'll play like a really good mid range. But it'll be very rare that they run into a grandmaster, if that makes sense. But instead of, then it's almost best to be in the middle.
Well,
But I guess not really. They just need to spread the range around so everyone's getting a good variety. It increases your chances of, on the low end, it increases your chances of winning because you're not facing grandmasters. But on the top end, and I don't even know why I care about them, content creators and streamers
no,
and
you're
all
right.
that. I get it though. I don't
Well-
want to say sympathize because I don't. I don't care. They're making millions of dollars. Fuck those people.
Exactly.
Fuck you, Ninja.
Yeah. Well,
But I get it. They want to be good too and look good and get 20 kills and show off that they're good. But I don't know.
well, one of the things that, back when I was playing in a billiard league, they had, it was skill based, but it was weighted. And it was actually it was really clever.
Like fat people only played fat people.
Exactly. So
Not that kind of weight.
yeah. So you were, if you played an 8-ball, you were ranked 2 through 7 as your skill. Two
Okay.
being the lowest skill, 7 being the highest skill, and they were they were also based on So what you would do is, depending on what skill played what skill, there was a weight system to how many games you had to win the match. You would play multiple racks of pool to determine who was the overall winner. So, say for example, I was a 5, and if I was to play, say, a 7, the way it would be weighted is he would have to win 4 games before I won 2. And that was how it was weighted. Or if I was a 5 and I was playing against a 5, it would be the first to win 4 games. And then if I was playing against a 3, I would have to win 4 games before they won 2.
But the whole thing, well, 2 things. One, that's almost exactly how Halo 3 was set up.
Right.
I don't know if you remember. If you were a 37 and you just won against a 43, you're going to jump the fuck up.
Right.
If you were a 37 and you just won against a 37, it's going to barely do anything.
Right. And that's kind of the way this system was weighted, and the way it was weighted as well, because when you were scorekeeping, you had to score, okay, how many balls did I make in a rack versus how many balls did this person make and win? So they made all 8 of their balls where I only made, say, 3. Or vice versa, and they would track that, and they would track like how many defensive plays you made. There was a lot.
It was in a tournament setting though, kind of, right?
Oh, it was a league setting. So so you had.
Was there money on the line?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of like ranked then.
It was very much ranked, because the way it
Sort
worked,
of.
yeah, the way it was is, you had so many teams in your league. It was normally like, say, around 6, and everybody had a home bar. Like a home location, and everybody played everybody both home and away, and you could have up to 7 people on your team, but you needed to have a minimum of 5 because you had 5 people playing every night, and you could rotate them, you could choose and whatnot. But in on the surface, it worked really, really well, unless you were high ranked. Like if you were a 7, you weren't going to play against another 7. Because number one, it would be the first to get to 4 games, which would take longer. But what happened a lot, and I'm guilty of it, and many teams were guilty of it, because I was the team captain of my team. If the other team had a 7, and he was going to play that night, Heather was a 2. And if a 2 plays a 7, the 7 has to win 7 games before the 2 wins 2 games.
Oh man.
Yeah, so you think about it, it was like, yeah, a 7 in theory should be able to beat anybody because they're the highest rank. They should be, breaking and running out every single game. But, all it takes is like for one accident, to accidentally knock the 8 ball in at a turn or to, anything. It made so much more sense for me to throw a 2 on a 7 than it would have been. We never had a 7 on our team. The highest we ever had was a 6. But it would make more sense to throw them on the 7 than it would have been to throw like myself as a 5 or the 6 on the 7, because I was going to have a hard time being perfect in my game than it was for him to be perfect in his.
Yeah.
So, and he could make up for that mistake. Say, he makes one mistake, he could still probably fix the issue. Whereas if I make one mistake, it's going to be a lot harder for me to get out of it. And I really liked that system until I got up into the 5 range where, you were playing high ranked players, and it was a lot harder. You didn't see 3s and 4s play 5s and 6s all that often. Usually 3s and 4s played each other. And so then, by the same token, 5s and 6s played each other, which was a lot harder.
Each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's basically the same application here, and I would like there to be some type of weight in some of these games. It would make it a lot more fun. It would make it more interesting. Imagine going in a 1v1, and you and I are playing against each other, which you're better than I am, but you had to kill me 50 times, but I only had to kill you 25 times.
Yeah. Well, now
that
let's
would
say.
be fun.
Let's say, imagine you're back in the pool hall. Sorry,
right.
Billiards.
Billiards.
You can tell I didn't play it at tournament level because I don't call it fucking billiards.
It depends on where you're at. We played in a bowling alley, so it was pool, but some people get confused when I play. I was in a pool league. Really? How fast
You're
did you
playing
swim?
with your billiard balls, right? Let's say it's not league night. It's
Okay.
just random. You just happen to go in there.
It's Friday night. You got nothing to do.
You just want to go play for fun, right?
Right.
So you roll in.
Yep.
You're just trying to be there, have a good time. Imagine you roll up and they stop you and go, "Whoa, wait a minute. We need to know your ranks." And you go, "What the fuck? I'm just here to play for fun." Yeah, but we got to know your ranks. We can only have you play same rank people.
Yeah.
We'd hate for it to be unfair,
Right.
to the people that suck. We'd hate for them to accidentally play against a good player. So now none of you are having fun.
Right.
Because you're all playing equal skill players. Instead of you just going in and playing with your friend.
Right.
Or to make it even worse, you go in with Heather and she's a 2 and you're a 5 or 6 or whatever. They put you against a 2 and a 5 or a 6. Or they put you against a 7 and somebody with one arm or some shit.
Right.
None of those 4 are having fun.
Right. No, it's very true. It's a valid point. And like I said, I think 10 years ago this conversation would have been a lot different. I would have been like, no, it needs to be, everybody needs to stay in their lane because
but I think it needs to be 2 completely different things for ranked and unranked.
yes.
Social. And even if it's not completely open, I get that they're so worried about that. We got to protect our IP and our interests and our casual players. Because technically, this is how all the arguments come out online, especially in the Halo community. But every community deals with it. Destiny, the Warzone, Call of Duty, everything. The casuals versus the sweaties and the streamers and the pros. They always blame each other when most of the doing is the developer making dumb decisions.
Right. I agree.
And nobody's happy. Nobody's happy on Warzone because they make all this meta that supports casual play, and the pros don't like it, and then the casuals also don't like it, and they blame the pros and goes, "I can't believe they, just make all the settings for them, just because they're better than us." And it's like, and the whole time the pros are bitching as well. And it's like nobody's happy and they're just blaming each other. The same in the Halo community.
But I guess on the flip side though, is if I can't make everyone happy, at the very least everyone is angry. It's like I'm not showing favorites.
You're doing. Yeah, I get it. You're trying to do the Nadia route. Bad PR is better than no PR. Everyone's talking about our game. Look at all the engagement on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. Look at all these retweets. We're not going to say what the retweets say.
Look at all the fucking engagement for Halo the last 8 months.
Yeah.
Nobody's playing the fucking game, but man, everyone's talking about it.
I,
It's so funny the people that the pros want Mangler out of competitive play because it's broken. Even especially with drop your weapon, because you go pop pop, drop your weapon, one BR shot, boom. So it's like an instant kill. So a bunch of the pros during scrims and tournaments and stuff have stopped doing drop weapon, and eventually a bunch of them said, "All right, we're not even going to pick up the Mangler." So they're not even using it, and they keep telling 343 take it out of the maps when we're playing competitively. We don't want it. So they just don't pick it up. It just doesn't exist, and 343 still leaves it in. And then you get people that come on Twitter and go, "You guys are big fucking babies. All these dumb changes they made." And they're like, "What changes? They haven't changed shit for us. It's not our fault the game still fucking sucks for you too."
it's, I, see, for me, I guess this is where the filthy casual tries to speak on competitive stuff.
Yeah.
If I'm the filthy casual, and
You are.
yeah, I'm the filthy casual, and I end up with a bunch of sweaty ranked guys. The first thing I'm doing is picking up the Mangler.
Yeah.
It's like it's not even a question. You just drive the meta into the ground until they change it. We did the same thing with the noob combo. We did the same thing with all of these other, across all these other games too. If they abuse it to the point where everyone's using it, it'll become stale and they'll have to change it.
Yeah.
Just abuse it. It's there and it's not cheating. I mean,
Well, it's
camping
funny,
is a legitimate strategy.
They only take stuff out of the game if it's fun. They get that shit out of there immediately. But if it's not really a problem and it's just making people bitch, they just let them bitch. Maybe they're right. They really are doing the naughty approach. Everyone's talking about it. Fucking leave it in.
Yeah, it works. They're just looking. Like I said, they're just looking at the engagements, going, "Man, that Mangler must be awesome." Everyone's talking about it.
Yeah, the investors, all they do is they go to Twitter and they go, "Let's see how many tweets are about Halo today." Wow, 100,000. We're doing pretty good.
No, I think
90.
I think you're right.
98,000 of them are fuck this game, but they don't look that far. They just look at the number and go,
Yeah.
"God damn, we're doing well, guys. Good job."
Yeah.
Everyone, give yourself a round of applause. Yeah, fucking.
I don't know. I mean, the gaming world is changing so much, and it changes so quickly.
Yeah. Well, it's so weird that, like I said, competitive is technically the smallest amount of players, but depending on how you have your game set up and monetization and stuff, technically you could make more from the pro scene. Like Call of Duty and Overwatch might be the only two that I can think of because, well, at least shooter games. League and a bunch of other ones. Just because of the way they do franchising, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Call of Duty, to play in the Call of Duty League, I can't remember if it's 6 million or 12 million now. You have to buy a franchise tag for your team to play in the league. So you got 5 guys paying, whatever, $10 million. I'm going to listen to what they want before I'm going to listen to 1,400 people bitching on Twitter that they don't like the new gun. Like, because all the money's on that competitive stream.
So you're saying capitalism works?
Yeah, capitalism and money. You follow the money.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, 343 doesn't do that either. I don't know what they're doing. They don't even follow the money.
I think they're just sticking with the engagements on Twitter and running with it.
They've got to be. I don't know who's even running things over there. Now there's rumors that they're switching to Unreal, and I can't remember. I don't think we were doing PigsPod at the time. But I heard a rumor that they had already tried to switch to Unreal from Slipspace, and that was when they lost their first studio head. It was a whole thing, and that's when the delays started happening, and it's been a thing for a while, and now there's a rumor that they're going to actually do it, but there's another rumor that they're going to do it, but only for their Battle Royale version of Halo that's coming out.
Halo doesn't need a battle royale. Remember
I
said this years ago?
We might as well talk about this while we're here.
Yeah.
Certain Affinity has confirmed that they're working on something for Halo. They haven't said what. They have said it is their biggest project they're currently working on. They have almost 200 people or some shit on it. So you got to think. All right, what would they be making then? Probably a battle royale. What else would they need that many people working on?
But
They're not
why?
making maps. I
Like
wish they were. I'd have some maps.
I don't understand it. I mean,
Halo would be make a really good battle royale. The problem is people are, the battle royale debate is going to go on for another 10 years. My view on it is you have two choices. You either make a battle royale and that's all. And you focus on your battle royale being fucking amazing and it's incredible and it's one of the best out there
right.
until your community gets so toxic that nobody wants to play your game. Apex.
Apex.
Or you make a fucking amazing base game and you focus on that and you just happen to have a battle royale.
Well, I don't.
I guess that's only your only two options really, but
But
I feel like
nobody plays it
you're
that way, though. Like
well,
it's either one or the other. You're either going to be playing that amazing base game, Titanfall,
yeah,
or you're going to be playing, the battle royale. I mean, who
that's
plays
true.
who plays Red Dead for the battle royale?
Nobody who plays Battlefield for the what was their Firestorm? What was it? They had
Yeah.
a battle royale.
Well, who plays Call of Duty for the stories?
Yeah, you might be right. The first option might be the only way to do a battle royale. If
You
you
have
want
to
to
go.
be a battle royale game,
You have
you
to
got to
be.
be a battle royale game.
Yep, and that's it. And that's it.
Yeah.
And that's what concerns me. But then on the flip side, if we're
Well,
on the
on the
subject,
flip side, certain affinities doing it. 343's not. It has nothing to do with them. It's basically a battle royale that just happens to be set in the Halo universe.
and maybe that's where it'll make it good. But then on the flip side, let's look at this from the fact
Okay.
that Halo, the last, I'll say the last two games, the majority of the community will say the last three games, Halo 4, 5, and 6, or 4, 5, and Infinite. I'll just say 5 and Infinite. Their stories were pretty lackluster. So nobody's who's playing Halo for the stories anymore. You're only
Nobody.
playing, you're just playing it for the multiplayer. So why wouldn't you do a battle royale at this point?
Well,
I
Halo
hate
doesn't
it.
need
I
it.
hate it.
Halo needs it right now because they have fucking no other content. I'm not trying to play the same 4 maps and the same 3 game modes. That's boring as fuck. That's why nobody's playing Infinite. They keep. I'm gonna say it is annoying that none of my melees count. That it's laggy. That fucking all the other problems. I will say that I might be playing it if they had fucking maps, if they had game modes, if they stopped hiding every fucking game mode behind an event where they go Fiesta this week only. It's like why can't it just be in a
Be in the rotation.
yeah?
Or
And
just be a
you and
regular
I
game.
watched. I can't remember if we talked about it after we watched that video, the one that Actman did, about how now they're kind of in trouble because they'll never have population to support adding playlists. They're too late now. If you either have them there at the beginning, or you're never gonna have them
Right.
because now it's too late. Now they can't add 1 or 2 more playlists because you only have 2,000 people playing the game. You add 1 more playlist that's splitting. Okay, how now? What? There's 150 people for every playlist.
Right.
You can only have 2 so that you have a pool of 500 players.
Well, that's a good point, and that's something that they've screwed the pooch on. And
Yeah.
maybe the battle royale will.
Maybe it'll bring players? I don't know.
I won't play it. I mean, I guess,
I'll play it. I'll try it. I don't think it'll bring me back to Halo. The only thing that'll bring me back to Halo is they need to add maps. They need to add playlists. I've said several times, I almost think they need to turn it off. Turn it off. Stop doing these updates every 8 months. Just turn it off for 8 months. Straight turn it off and come back when you have plenty of maps and playlists. And that relaunch, you'll get that population to support the playlists.
will you though?
You can't.
I mean, if
I think so. If they completely turn it off to where you can't play it all, it won't be nearly what they would have got if they did it right in the first place. But it'll be way better than just doing these lackluster bullshit updates every 6 months and then eventually.
I think that would be a huge risk, because you run the risk of people finding other games to play for those 8 months. You
People
know,
are already finding other games to
well, that's
play.
true, but I'm saying
Only
now
like
you're
1,800 people play Halo every day.
well, yeah, and now are you going to run the risk of running off those 1,800 people that are
Well,
dedicated? I
you
mean,
run them off,
you're running them
but
off. I mean,
yeah, I'm saying when you come back, maybe you won't have the 200,000 that they had the first week of Halo. Probably not, but you might have 20,000.
I
You
think that
might have 10,000.
if you're going to go down that route, what did we lose?
Fred left.
Okay, bye, Fred. I think that instead of turning it off altogether, I think the solution would be stop with the updates altogether and let's start concentrating on the next iteration of Halo.
Yeah.
You know,
Or just stop with the updates to get and don't give us an update until it's actually an update.
well, that's true too. You know, instead
Don't
of
give us an update and call it an update and it has one bug fix and one shitty Big Team Battle map where Big Team Battle still sorry, excuse me. Big Team Battle still doesn't fucking work correctly. It still has glitches and it's fucked up and matchmaking doesn't work. Half the time you join a game that's 3v8 and you're like, "Oh, this is fun."
do you
Like
you remember how you know Halo 4 Halo 4 existed for 4 years, 5 years? You know, before
4 years
yeah,
maybe.
and then you look at we look at how long Halo 3 lasted or how long Halo Reach lasted. And everybody's saying, well, Infinite was supposed to be a 10-year game.
Well, it's
And
going to be at the rate they're releasing stuff.
well, I mean, it's gonna be as good year 1 as it is year 9. And that's the way it was for Reach. That's the way it was for 3. I mean, for the most part, that's the way it was for Halo 4.
Yeah.
And to turn around and say, you know, we're going to try to keep making this game better. Like, nobody's playing it now. Like, what's the point? Just go ahead and just say, yeah. Or maybe not even say anything about it at all. Don't even admit that you fucked it up. Let's just move forward. Let's start working on a new IP.
It's going to be another Microsoft Surface 1 where they lost a couple $100 million. They fucked up. Nobody bought it. And they just, what they should do, they silently swept it under the rug and they said, let's revisit the drawing board for the newer Surface tablets. I still don't think they're very successful, but they at least tried.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's what we need to. That's what they need to do.
Yeah.
Because
No, you might be right. I hate to say it. I hate
would
to just
rather
have Infinite go away, but
well, I wouldn't say they could go away per se.
they're just done with it.
Yeah, they'd just be done with it. Like, okay, it's done. It's
It's-
complete.
That's easy for me and you to say though, because we're already pretty much done with it.
Well, yeah, well, the whole community is like you said, 1,800
Yeah.
people a day. In
If that,
how many
let me look.
how many
look.
people were
Halo,
playing? How many people were playing Halo 3?
Average players per day for the last 30 days is 3,200 people.
That hurts. Like, that hurts my heart, man.
Peak players in the last 30 days, like peak the most, 7,200 at one time. This is on PC though, so console you might have
Let's double it.
double that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, no, let's just double it.
Still,
Yeah,
14,000 people.
people. Yeah.
That's it.
14,000 people.
We got that many people listening to this podcast.
Exactly. We get
Give or
that
take
many.
a few thousand.
Yeah, we get that many downloads in a night. I just, it just breaks my heart because, in Halo 3, 3,200 people, hell, that's how many people you matched up with on a Friday night.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
remember in Halo 2 days where they had the fucking population?
yeah, well, Halo 3 did
That
it too.
that shit would always be at 1 million.
Yeah. And
You were shocked when it got down to 6 digits. You're like, oh dang, there's only 180,000 on, and you're like, it's 3 in the fucking morning. You're like, well, all right.
Yeah, it's 6 a.m. East Coast time. West Coast still hasn't gone to bed yet.
Dude, Halo 3 in the last couple weeks before it shut down had more than 1,800 or 3,000 players.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like at this point, we're done with it. The community's done with it. You may as well let the studio be done with it. Let's create another story. Let's.
Or they
continue
could have
it on.
been. They could have been pull like an MCC. I know it's really early, but they could pull like an MCC. You put a handful of people on it, do updates here and there to keep the game, quote unquote, alive, and just start working on the next one. You fucked it up. We're coming up here in a month. It'll be a year after release. I mean, yeah, it's kind of a quick death, but it was dead 2 months after release.
Well, I also think the other problem that Halo has is the fact that its core population has aged out of gaming.
Yeah, kind of.
I think that's one of the
I
problems.
mean,
Is you don't see you don't see little Timmy dragging grandma into GameStop to buy the new Halo game. You know,
no.
he's dragging them in there to grab Fortnite or
Well, see,
whatever.
this is where they fucked up again. Okay, they tried to give us a game for that older generation, but like you said, most of the games now to be successful, you have to be a game for the new generation.
Yeah,
And what does the new generation want?
Fortnite.
Stuff to do.
Yeah,
What does Fortnite do better than any other game?
there.
You have stuff to do. You know how many challenges you have? You have like 9 different challenge lists when you log into Fortnite. It's a battle royale. They have another version too, but we're talking about the battle royale. You have to go. You have to
I didn't
land
know
here,
that.
pick this up, use that gun, get a kill with this gun. Then you have to only at this one location. There's like 5 or 6 things to do. You have to do. There's all kinds of shit that you have to do, and there's content that you unlock for doing that. There will be like a Spider-Man skin. There will be a fucking Darth Vader. There'll be this and that, and you can do just the challenges just to unlock that skin, and that keeps people playing. Like there's always something to do all the fucking time, and that's
All
why
right,
this generation keeps playing it. There's nothing to do on Halo.
let me
There's
play.
literally
Let me play devil's advocate
okay,
because you brought up something and I'm curious to hear your rebuttal to it. You say
okay.
Fortnite always has things to do and people want to play it.
Mm-hmm.
Why does that make them so successful? But then we shit on games like Destiny that's literally the same thing. They have
Because Destiny fucked it up. I thought about this. Remember, I've been playing Genshin Impact a lot.
right.
Genshin Impact might be one of the best I've ever seen do this. Okay, and before I got into it, I haven't played it the last couple nights, which is another cool thing that you could not say with Destiny.
Fair
I
point.
don't feel like I have to play. Number
Right.
one, number two, when I do play and I'm doing all these challenges and stuff, I'm constantly getting stuff, and the way Destiny does the same thing. Like you raids get harder, the nightfall gets harder, the weekly strikes get harder. But as I'm leveling up, the game is constantly giving me brand new stuff, brand new weapons, brand new characters, brand new stuff that's now at that new level. I'm not logging in every day for a week and doing 60 fucking raid runs and getting nothing. And then on my 61st raid run, I finally get that gun that I was trying for. That's how Destiny fucked it up.
Yeah, you're not wrong
Other
there.
than other than when you very first start playing Destiny and you don't really know what anything is, and maybe I'm in that spot with Genshin Impact right now. Even though I don't know, I feel like I know sort of what's going on, but Destiny takes too long. They almost force you to get on, or else. If you don't
Right.
get on, you're never gonna get that fucking thing you want.
Well, that's actually really true because that's what's kept me from going back to Destiny. It's not that I don't want to play it. It's
Yeah,
that
it's just kind of disheartening.
well, it's
Like
knowing how far behind I am.
yeah, and you just get further and further behind
That's
every day.
that was a conversation that me and Switch and Riker had day before yesterday ish,
Yeah,
where I was like, man, you know what I would really love to do? I'd love for all of us to throw on Destiny 1 and go run the Vault of Glass raid.
yeah.
And
I'd love to play some Destiny. It's a fun game. It's just even just getting on to do a raid, I already know I'm gonna have 2 weeks worth of chores before I'm even gonna be ready to do a raid.
well, and that's what they were saying. It's like, well, why don't you just get on Destiny 2 and do a better updated version of Vault of Glass? Like, well, why would I want to do that when it's going to take me a month to get up to level to do it? I want to do
Yeah.
it now. Like
Well, and
on
every time I
Destiny
say
1, I
that
can
to
do that.
somebody, yeah, every time I say that to somebody that's still playing the game, they're like, "You immediately get up to like level 9,000 or what? I don't know what the fucking
Right,
light
whatever
is
the
at
light
now."
is, yeah.
They're like, "You immediately get up." I'm like, "Okay, but not high enough. I'm right at the cusp of where I can barely join the raid, and I'm gonna do no damage, and
And
it's gonna fucking suck."
it's going to suck for everybody because number one, it's going to suck for you because you're going to be constantly dying and be a burden for your team, and
Yeah,
then your team is going to be constantly having to pick you up. So you're just a hindrance. And, if everyone's playing together on a consistent basis, it doesn't matter because you're all there, you're all good to go. That's why I was like, hey, if we could all go back and play Destiny 1, I could get people to play. I was like, I could call up Oreo, I could call up these other people and say, hey, we're going to do a Destiny 1 Vault of Glass raid. Why don't y'all jump on? And everybody's like, all right, because we're all they're good to go. But, I haven't played Destiny 2 in well over almost 2 years. So
Yeah,
it's like I'm
at
so
least that
far
long.
behind. And I liked Destiny. I liked it a lot. But
No, it's a fun game, but it's just
there was a lot of other games that came out that I also wanted to play, and I had to make a decision of where am I going to put my time? I'm going to put my time into do I put my time into a game that is always going to be consistent no matter when I play it, or the game that I'm going to have to be consistently playing it to maintain my consistency in what I want to be able to do. And that really, 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 really sucks. Because like you said,
well, the other
I love Destiny.
the other major problem that Destiny has, and I think a lot of the time we forget it's a RPG, not a shooter.
Mm-hmm.
It's, but the thing that they don't do very well, that I feel like Genshin does pretty well, it's not balanced. There's always some meta or some gun. Maybe it'll be like one or two different guns, or there's always something that to do this new raid and do it effectively and not spend 8 hours doing it. At least two or three of your party members are going to have that gun
Right.
or that piece of,
Yeah.
that gauntlet or whatever for this perk or whatever.
Going back to, say, the Crota raid, you wanted everybody to have Black Hammer because it made the Oversoul easier to kill.
Yeah.
You could do it with other stuff. You absolutely could.
Yeah.
But it was just harder.
Well, I get it on paper too, then, well, that keeps people playing because now they got to earn and unlock that thing. Yes, but also when you're like me and UQ, where we only play maybe a few hours a week, not even every night anymore, I'm not going to waste my time to maybe unlock a thing that I need.
Right.
There's no possible fucking way I'm going to do that. At least on Genshin, I can... I'm becoming a real fucking weed playing Genshin, but...
Yeah, you are.
I haven't played it in the last 2 nights. That's the beauty of it. It feels so nice that I haven't gone on. It just doesn't even matter. I'm not getting further behind or anything.
Right.
Even though they still constantly update it. They don't update it so much to where now, oh, you have to get on. Maybe that's something Destiny could benefit from. It has like world levels where your entire world and enemies rank up with you, which Destiny sort of has, other than like the raids and the strikes and the nightfalls and stuff. And Genshin has the Abyss, which is kind of like doing a raid, sort of. And it doesn't level up with you. I don't know. It's better done. The craziest part is I feel like Destiny has a bigger variety. There's way more guns and gauntlets and helmets and perks and all that shit. And it's still, you get on and it feels like, even though there's all of that, because there's only a handful of things that or the meta that week or that month or that year, it feels like there's nothing. So all the stuff that you're unlocking and that's not what you wanted, so you're kind of disappointed. And I've said that to some of the people that are still playing Destiny. Go, oh, it's so much better now. You can have this one thing eat this other thing, and it gains its perks or its power or whatever. I'm like, yeah, but does it though?
Well, I mean,
does it?
It does now. I mean, you can basically I really like these perks, but I like this gun, so I can put the two of them together and get the best of both. If
I have that other thing unlocked,
that's true.
Then I can have it eat it and have its thing. That's the same. Then I have the same problem. I still have to grind to get the thing unlocked to use it.
And that's them keeping you playing, and I see why they do it. They
should. What they need is another currency. I know Destiny has enough fucking currencies in the game.
That's exactly what Destiny needs. Another currency.
Or just merge one of the ones that are barely being used, silver or something, and have it now instead. If you get enough of that silver, you can upgrade anything you want to anything you want. And then I already hear the people screaming, well, that's not going to be balanced. The game's not already fucking balanced as it is. It only benefits players that play it for 60 hours a week. It's awful for everyone else. For in Iron Banner, PvP, PvE, I can't do the Nightfall in fucking 30 minutes by myself because I'm not maxed. I can't fucking enjoy PvP because I don't have the fastest shooting
Yeah,
gun that has a perk where I can slide infinitely around corners or whatever the fuck. Like,
whatever the current meta is.
yeah,
No, you
I don't know.
you make a very valid point. You know, it does. You know, that game is very centered around people that have the time to devote to it. You know, it's I guess it's no different than saying, of course people are, of course, Halo is going to listen to the people that are, that have bought the franchise to be able to play competitively because they spent $12 million on it versus where you and I spent $60. So of course they're going to listen to that. Of course they're going to listen to the people that are playing 60 hours a week because that's their player base. That's what's keeping them going. So I mean,
Yeah,
I guess that makes sense. And it comes back to where you and I are going to have to, find a game that that does those things for us. And I just don't. I've been playing
I don't know.
Ark a lot. Smokey and I've been
Yeah,
playing nothing but Ark because I don't have to worry about competitiveness. I don't have to worry about those things. I just have to worry about getting on his fucking McDonald's Wi-Fi to play on his
yeah.
to playing on his server.
That's the hardest thing is like there's such a variety of players, and I feel like even though we don't like Destiny, I feel like it works for the people that like it. That's fine. It's kind of like World of Warcraft. I'm not gonna
That's
grind and
exactly
play
it.
that fucking game. If you want to know life that game and play it all the time, perfect. It's the perfect game for you. Enjoy it. Like, but that's not a game for me. The problem comes like how how do you make a game fun? You got to sit down and think how the fuck do you make a game fun?
But
Halo's not fun. It's just not an enjoyable time.
Darkly makes a good point with Destiny too. He says that I hate being able to get quests done, and then the level is too high, and I can't get the quest done without dying 20 times. Where's the fun in that?
Yeah.
There isn't any fun in that, and
No. Well, that's what I said. Challenges are kind of fun if you make them fun.
well, and if they should make them fun, they should make them based on your light or your
Well,
rank
not
or your
even
weight,
just
or whatever.
Destiny. I mean for any
Yeah,
game.
that's what I'm saying. Is
Halo has the least fun challenges to do and the least amount of reward for doing it. You get fuck all for doing the challenge. If you do all the challenges for the week, you get the weekly reward, which half the time is a fucking sticker or an emblem that you're never going to use. Like is
I still think Reach did it the best with theirs.
Yeah,
They
no,
just
Reach
they
was the way you unlocked the
oh shit.
things and then you could buy the fucking stuff and everything. No, no, that was well done.
Yeah, Reach did
But
it
like,
right. They just gave you currency. What you did with that currency was on you. And
yeah,
and
the
I,
other problem becomes when you focus too much on challenges and stuff though, and then you forget that your game also has to be fun.
right. No, it's you make a very valid point, and it's crazy that everybody looked at Halo Reach with disdain of like, oh, how shitty it was, and oh, it had armor lock and all this, and now we're looking back at it in the view of like, they did a lot of things right. They had great armor customization. They had decent matchmaking. They had
Yeah.
they had really good playlists, and it
Well,
was
the ranking system was great. The reward, the currency that you got, and then you could buy the shit that you wanted.
and
Fucking
and
fantastic.
you bought exactly what you wanted. You didn't
Yeah.
if you wanted.
Infinite doesn't have that.
Yeah, and that's one thing that just gets me is like just make it a currency. But then again,
Yeah.
it also comes back to like, I know that Overwatch is doing a battle pass system, and
Yeah.
people hate it. You know, and I've said for a long time is just do a currency system. If people and do pure cosmetics and emotes, nothing that
Yeah.
changes the game.
Well, look at
It,
Apex. Apex has the battle pass and stuff, but you don't have to get the battle pass.
right.
Other than really specific like event skins, pretty much everything you can buy with in-game currency. Now, some of those more like epic skins, you're gonna have to grind for a fucking month before you're gonna have
Right.
enough to buy it without purchasing it with real money. But it still gives you something to work towards, and you can buy that exact fucking thing you want. Again, you can't do that in Halo Infinite. I don't know what the fuck they're doing over there. The game sucks. The glitches suck. There's nothing to do. I don't even know what rank I am. I don't even know what ranking system they use. I can't remember. I blocked it out of my memory, I think.
Well, I keep coming back to it time and time again, and I said it just a second ago, and I'll keep saying it. We only need a currency. That's it. And then
Yeah, even if they just did that and let me buy my stuff. Is that what
right,
you're saying?
yeah, and
Keep everything else the same.
keep everything the same. This is the Q stick perfect rank system. Put everything out there that you can get, skins, emotes, whatever, like whatever it is cosmetic wise that doesn't affect the game. Put it in a currency system, and then every time you rank up, you get X amount of currency. You don't
You
get
get
a
X
skin.
amount of currency for winning. You get X amount.
Right now, if you win, you get more, but
Yeah.
you will always get a base amount just
Yeah,
for
and give it
completing
to me for doing the
Yeah,
the
and
challenges every day. And then
yes,
if I complete the weeklies instead of the weekly bullshit they've been giving
you
us,
give you
give me a
jackpot.
bonus.
Yeah,
Yeah, give me a bonus 10,000 or whatever.
right, and just like Reach did, they waited. You show up late to a game, you get a weighted amount of currency. Like it's
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, you got way less.
you
Like
get
hardly anything.
right. But I mean, say you get for every minute that you're in the game, you get 10 credits. All right.
Yeah.
So if you show up in the last 2 minutes, you get 20 credits. If you're there for the full 20 minutes, you get 2,000 credits.
Yeah. And guess
Right.
what, Q? If they put this in, I'd be playing it tomorrow because
And
there's
then
some armor and stuff that I want.
now
If I had a way to unlock it.
here's the kicker.
Oh, okay.
This is where
Here's
this is where I'm gonna really make people happy or angry.
I'm already angry. Go ahead.
Awesome. I'm gonna put in a way for you to buy everything you want with legitimate real world money. If you don't want to grind that out, say what you want cost 100,000 credits. All right.
Okay.
You ain't got time to grind out 100,000 credits in that game. You play
Yep.
one
Say,
night.
let me buy it.
You play one night a week, and that's all you get to play. But you really want this cool skin for your character. All right, cool. For $9.99, it's yours. And now you make everybody happy because
Yeah.
this person, if I don't want to put a dime into your game, I'm going to have to grind out those 10,000 credits or 100,000
It's
credits.
so weird that that's how we thought Halo was going to be because they kept talking like that before it came out. Remember, they were saying, we're going to have a battle pass, but everything's going to be available to everyone. You can either earn it but what they didn't say is what we mean by earn it is eventually it'll come around to where you'll be able to unlock it in a free battle pass or an event that's
Yeah,
also free.
so long
But
as you're playing. That's
if you're
the
playing at that
problem.
exact moment or that exact
Right.
weekend, that special event, and then you play to unlock it, there's no currency or progression or anything in there to work for.
Right.
There's no reason for me to ever want to get on. It's not fun enough to just get on.
Yeah, and that's just I stick with that because Overwatch was doing something similar to that.
Yeah.
Everything was available so long as you had the character unlocked, you could buy the coins to buy the skin that you wanted, and that's fine.
I can't
That's-
think
that's
of a
what
game that doesn't
Overwatch
do it like
1,
that,
yeah.
other than Destiny. Destiny, you can't just buy what you want.
Well, Destiny
But that's
couldn't-
because
Well, I mean, technically, Apex.
Destiny doesn't do cosmetics as heavily, though. Destiny's a lot of.
Well, they do cosmetics, but you have to unlock
Yeah, but
them and
And you can buy cosmetics because that's what the silver and the
Right.
stuff in that one specific shop or whatever.
yeah. But I
But
just
no,
think,
Apex and Fortnite and all those others have both. You can unlock the experience and stuff to eventually get the thing. Well, Fortnite doesn't have it. Fortnite doesn't have an in-game currency that you can get skins and stuff.
oh, Darkly says you can buy levels now. Well, I mean, and that's fine. I mean, I'm just so tired of now that I'm older, I don't have the time to play like I want to, you know. So those particular things that I think look cool that I want to play with and look like,
Yeah, just let me fucking have it.
just like I have adult money now. Let me just use my adult money and buy it.
Let me buy it. Let me buy it or decide that I want to grind it for a month and get it without buying it for $10.
And I just I mean, even Apex wasn't doing that. You had to buy the battle pass and then rank up to it, which was annoying. Just let me spend the money. As long as it doesn't break the game, as long as it doesn't make it to where we don't go the Battlefront 2 direction where for $2,000 you can have all the characters unlocked on the on day one.
Yeah.
And
Apex does it weird too. They act like something's gonna be exclusive to either the battle pass or the event or whatever. But eventually, like a year later, it comes to the store and you can buy it. But again, in a perfect world, I agree with you. Put it all out, add stuff in the future, add events for Halloween and
yeah,
Christmas and whatnot.
yeah.
But if I saved up all my credits for the year and go, I'm gonna get a badass Halloween skin. I'm gonna wait until the Halloween skins are out. Like then I'd fucking buy it. I don't know.
Well,
It's weird that they just don't do anything though.
no, it's just something that needs to be addressed for the communities to just make a better experience, because you're going to have the have times and the have not times, that are able to sit and play these games, and you want to make it as enjoyable on both sides. If I've got 45 hours a week to put into a game, I ain't spending a dime, you know, on buying shit, because I can earn what I want.
Yeah.
But then the majority of people don't have that time. They want to buy it. I mean, of course, you're always going to have the people that are going to buy it no matter what, and that's fine. That's what you want. You want people spending money on your game, and that's what Fortnite is doing so well with the Fortnite dollars, or they have a currency that you can purchase,
The V-Bucks?
the V-Bucks or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
And it works, and they're making money, and they're constantly getting that influx of cash to keep
No,
making
they make
content.
hand over fist.
Oh, yeah.
But they don't have an in-game currency that you can earn.
Yeah.
You can earn in-game skins, but it's like specific ones.
Or you can just buy what you want, I'm assuming.
Yeah, you can just buy pretty much everything. But it used to be worse because they changed the store all the time.
Right.
But now they still update the store all the time, but a lot of the stuff stays in the store. Like they just keep adding on to it, and then every few weeks the entire store resets. But like it'll start with 4 or 5 different skins and themes and stuff, and then more gets added and more gets added. So then you're looking at this gigantic store with a fucking 1,000 things. But I don't know. I think Warzone does that same kind of thing where there's a billion fucking things and you can buy almost everything.
I don't know.
Oh.
I'll take your word for it.
I don't know. I haven't really played it either.
I don't have a desire to.
Nah.
I feel like I've lost my way in gaming. Here we are.
I feel lost. Like other than Genshin, but Genshin's free, and
Yeah.
it lets me level up and unlock in-game currency to unlock whatever I want. They do have their luck like draw system, but they've done that really well too. What they do is like, I can't remember the exact numbers, but it's basically like 1 every 10 you get a guaranteed 4-star, and then 1 every 80 you get a guaranteed 5-star. The only thing Apex has is once every 500 you're guaranteed to get the fucking heirloom. That's the word I'm looking for.
And even that's insane.
Yeah, but that's 500.
Yeah.
That's the other thing cool that Genshin does, and Genshin keeps track and will show like a history. You can pull up how many boxes have I unlocked, and you're like, oh shit, 76. And it'll show you if you got a 5-star or not, and then oh, I'm guaranteed in the next 4 I'm gonna get like a 5. I don't know. I don't understand though, like how people spend so much money on Genshin when you have all this other good stuff going for it. I saw a clip the other day. I can't remember if I told you about it or not. One of those big time streamers that we don't like. Now, it wasn't Nadia, but he had 2 other girls on his stream, and somehow they came to the topic of how much money have you spent on Genshin, and he's like a lot, and she's like what 500, and he's like a little more. She's like what 1,000, 2,000. He's like a little more. How much do you think he spent on Genshin?
$5,000.
It's gonna blow your mind.
Like, blow my mind.
It's a little more than $5,000.
How much?
$500,000. I was trying to think. He must have bought fucking everything in the entire game, just everything.
I just
He's a big time streamer, so he has money. But he said that, and I was like, "What the fuck? I've spent nothing on this game. How did you spend half a fucking $1,000,000?" The, it
I
blew me away.
spent so in my height of Grand Theft Auto 5, I would say I spent excluding buying the game itself. I would say I spent $200, maybe.
And that's the most you've ever spent on,
I think that's
probably.
the most. Yeah, that's definitely the most I've ever spent on a game, like a single game. Buying their currency to buy stuff. Because a lot of it was like, oh, it's Friday night. We're all going to play and do stupid stuff. So I'm going to spend like $5 or $10 and buy enough in-game currency to reload all my guns to max ammo because we're going to fucking need it tonight. That type of thing. So like maybe $200, maybe 300, but no more than that. But that's over the course of. Fuck, we played that game for what, 3, 4, 5 years?
Yeah, a long time.
And I mean, I would say I easily had 2,000 hours or more in that game. So we're looking at.
So you kind of got your money's worth.
Yeah,
I'd say.
that's what I'm saying. Is like, okay, name another hobby or pastime that you do for 5 years that you only spend $300 on.
Yeah, nah, that doesn't really happen.
No, it really doesn't. So it's like it's not that bad. And I've always used the going back to the billiards thing. It costs
Pool?
me pool. Go back to pool. It costs me say on league night. I would play on one league night. It was $6 for your due to play that night. It was $6 to play to be a part of the league. And then you played 50 cents a game because you split games. I put up 50. I'm playing against you. You put up 50. And we have to play, we'll say, 5 games. So I put up like $2.50 plus my league dues of $6. So I'm lit up like $7, $8. And then if I buy food, another $10. So, like realistically, for me to go out and play a night of pool, I would put up like $20. That's $20 a night. All right.
Yeah.
So
were you winning any of that back?
Well, I mean, we weren't winning any cash money back. Unless you made it into the tournaments or further on. Like you would play. The way it worked is if you finished in the top 2 of your league, if you were in the top 2 at the end of the season, you got an automatic qualification into the regional tournament. And then if you won the regional if you finished in the top 2 of the regional tournament, you qualified for Las Vegas, and you would go play in the.
Then you make money.
Then you make money. But you also
So you weren't really making money.
You weren't really making money. But I mean, we got patches.
But you're playing a whole night of pool. Billiards.
Billiards.
Yeah.
But we got patches, and if you made it, if you were like the best individual player, you for your rank, you would get into another tournament, and that would play for cash money. You might win $100, $200, But I was always in it for the patches. I mean, I've got hundreds of patches where it was like, I made the 8 ball on the break, or I.
Oh. So they were giving you something for playing.
Yeah, I was getting something for playing. So,
Imagine if games did that. That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. So I just forgot where I was going with this conversation.
I don't remember.
I don't either. But
spending money but getting your money's worth.
Yes, that's where I was going. I was basing my time playing the game on. It worked out for the amount of time that I was there. I was spending probably $3 or $4 an hour to play the game. That was the cost to play the game, and eating and gas and all that.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
It's really not.
You're having a good time.
Exactly. I was with my friends. A lot of the people that I was in the league with, I game with online, and so like Nicole that's in our D&D game. Her and her husband played with me. That's how I met them. Was through the league. But
so she calls it billiards as well.
No, she calls it pool.
Oh, good. All right, I like Nicole even more.
Yeah. But so I would base everything on like $3 an hour. So then I would turn around and I would apply that to my video games. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to drop $60 on a video game. Okay, I need to play it for at least 10 hours.
Yeah.
You know, if
Which
I
back in the day you could do.
Oh yeah.
It's getting harder and harder to do.
Yeah. You know, and then, you know, so if I break 10 hours playing a game, you know, I've basically in my view made my money back. So then I look at games that I have 1,000 hours in. Look at Halo Reach, look at Halo 3, Halo 2. God damn. I probably have 10,000 hours in Halo 2.
Yeah, and you bought it for $50.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And, you know, or like we're playing Ark right now. I've got at least 500 hours in Ark. You know, so
I don't think I've ever played that.
I like it. I love dinosaurs and I like survival games. You know, it's literally Minecraft with dinosaurs. What could, what could go wrong?
I don't know. Lots of things you get eaten. I don't know.
Quite often. But it's the same thing. Is can I get 10 to 20 hours out of a video game for me to consider it to be successful?
Yeah.
And
It's getting so weird that like a few years ago we had nothing but like great fucking games, amazing games. And ever since, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people are blaming the pandemic and we had to work from home. But like I feel like that's just bullshit excuses for publishers and studios and people at the top trying to push too hard and want too much out of a game, trying to make too little amount of people, not enough studio to make something too big, and like so we've been getting nothing but shit after shit after shit, garbage.
well, and I don't buy that as an excuse. You know,
I don't. It's bullshit.
Because
It's
look
the
at
pandemic.
look at Among Us. Among Us exploded during the pandemic. There was nothing to that game. There is nothing to that game. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Well, didn't it release like 4 years before
yeah.
that?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was out years before the pandemic, but it was
Yeah.
just like we're all cooped up at home. What do we want to do? Kill shit and lie about it. That's essentially what Among Us
Yeah.
was. And
I still haven't played that with a full fucking lobby.
you're missing out. I mean, and it was such a great game, and
Yeah.
it was
Well, no,
simple. It didn't have
But
a
everyone that made games during the pandemic said, "Oh, it sucked because we worked at home," which is fucking crazy because Apex largest boom and still going was all during everyone working at home. You know the amount of animations and fucking cutscenes and
well. My
the
thing
amount
is,
of shit they've done while working at home, and then the rest of the studios are making the excuses. Well, we couldn't do good work because we were at home. It's like what the.
my thing with working from home in regards to this type of industry is what type of in-office interactions do you need to make things go well? I feel like, with
Yeah, how can you not get that at home? You can share your screen. You can send them files. How many people are you, like? I think where you're getting at. How often are you actually going up to people's desk to go look?
yeah, that's what I'm saying is, how much of that is how much of that is
That's what I'm saying. It's a
Collaborative.
bullshit excuse.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Because you weren't in the office. You should be more productive at home.
my job, my job does not allow me to be able to work from home. I have to be in the field. I have to be doing things because it's a
Yeah.
hands-on industry. So I
Yeah.
never got that experience of working from home. Like I never did. I went into work every day during the pandemic that I needed to work. I was working. So I don't understand it. Whereas Lady Q, she worked from home every day.
Yeah.
Because her job was answering emails and data entry and all of these things. So, yeah.
Did she make the excuse though that that's why she fell off? That I sucked because I'm at home. She probably did better at home.
Oh, she loved it. And there were so many
Yeah.
people that were like, yeah, this is so much easier. I don't have to get up and, I don't have
Yeah.
to.
The
dress
only people
nice.
that don't like it are the higher ups. Like Rabble just said,
yeah,
how's your manager
100%.
supposed to fucking bug you?
Yeah.
That's it. Even they need to keep an eye on you. And when they can't, because they have to call you and say, hey, share your screen, they can't bug you.
Well, I
And
think
that's
one
why
of
I say they're making the excuses. I feel like I'm trying to think of who I've seen make that excuse. I know I've seen it, but I can't remember in my head if it was lower down end developers or higher up. in studios.
It's it
I
ha-
know I've seen the excuse, but I can't remember.
it has to be middle management because
Yeah.
it was like late pandemic, late during shutdown. I listened to a thing on NPR where they were talking about the amount of money that businesses were saving by having everybody work from home
Yeah.
because they weren't paying for office space, they weren't paying for electricity, they weren't paying for janitor services to come in and clean.
No.
Like all of these things that you need to run your office, all that's gone. So I mean,
Yeah.
all you have is the your payroll, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Well,
So
all look at all the companies that had record fucking profits, and then turn around and go, "This has been the worst pandemic. We're struggling," and say, Didn't you just say you had the best year you've ever had?" Yeah, but it's really hard.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
I only got to take 3 vacations this year.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, I don't understand it, and like I said, I try not to get into that argument because I don't know what it's like to work from home. So I had to run my business from the office because that's how our business model works. Is you have to be in the field, you have to be in the office. So I don't get it. I don't know what it's like to work in my pajamas, which
Yeah.
a lot of people did, and I don't begrudge them. I'm envious of that. I'm so jealous that people got to do that. You know,
Yeah, wake up 5 minutes before you got to be at work.
yeah, exactly. I just gotta
Yeah.
make sure my hair is brushed, and even then that's questionable because I don't have a Zoom
Yeah, you don't
meeting
got to
for
worry about traffic or all
Yeah.
that bullshit. Like,
that. And
no,
it was
I agree. It's been the best thing. We should all be working from home if you could. I don't. It'd be really hard for you to work from home.
I can't. It's not now.
I don't know how you could do it.
Now, the only thing I can do from home, I could do more from home now because I don't go out in the field as much because I've hired people to do that. So I do a lot of my mostly the people coming in off the street stop me from working in pajamas.
Yeah, like Rabble
You know,
just said, what's stopping you from working in pajamas
the
in
fact
the field?
the fact that I don't wear pajamas when I sleep at night, big guy. But
I don't own pajamas if you sleep naked.
yeah, exactly. I can't do that. It's frowned on in society. But I could work from home somewhat now because I could do my billing and I could do my email
Yeah.
correspondence and scheduling and stuff like that. But back then when we had a smaller group, I had to go in. We were you know we you know, the fire code didn't take a break because of COVID. You still had
No?
to yeah, I know. You still had to meet fire code requirements. Despite the fact that one of the things that hurt us the most was with the restaurants being closed. We would
Yeah, they weren't re-upping or
yeah, they weren't
doing
taking care.
checks.
They weren't doing their kitchen stuff because they didn't need to.
Yeah.
And if you had businesses that were doing takeout only and weren't allowing people to come into the facility, they weren't holding their end of the bargain either because who was checking it? No one was.
No, yeah. they
Yeah,
don't
the
need
fire
to.
marshal was working from home.
Who cares if the employees fucking burn up?
Yeah.
That's not our problem.
Exactly. And we really did. We struggled at that point. We struggled really, really
Oh,
hard.
here we go. Another fucking
But-
manager talking
but-
about how the pandemic was hard.
The pandemic was very hard because we couldn't work from home. But I will say this, we were fortunate and we did get the payroll, the PPP money, the payroll protection money.
You got the pee money?
We got the PP money, but we had
Nice.
to jump through. Goddamn the paper.
Well, you guys probably actually needed it.
We did because that was what we ended up doing. Is we were so slow during those times because a lot of our customers were closed. I worked Mondays and Tuesdays. My one employee worked Wednesdays and Thursdays, and then we took Fridays off. So that was it. I was only working 2 days a week, but I was still paying myself and him and Dad a full
Yeah,
paycheck.
your normal.
A
Yeah,
full-
your
regular
normal
40
wage.
hours.
You have to pay bills and you have to live. Yeah.
So we were getting that when we took that money and actually used it as it was supposed to be used. Whereas the number of businesses that were just like,
Yeah,
oh,
unlike some people.
the people like I don't know, the fact
We're
that we're
struggling. We had to close for 30 minutes more than we normally do.
yeah, or the places like fucking like Brett Favre did. that we're not talking about, where Brett Favre formed an LLC, hired all of his friends on to be a part of the LLC, and then
And take a loan.
filed for the PPP
I
money.
should have done that. Q, I
It was
fucked
genius.
up. I should have
Yeah.
done that. Damn it.
Yeah,
Didn't
it
think
was
about
actually
it.
genius. It's like I can't believe that in so
Biggest
many
regret in life.
yeah, so many people did that. And then
A lot of people, millionaires did that.
Yeah, a lot of people did that, and I
I
wish,
still do that? Is that still
No, yeah, there's no more payroll money,
no more PP money? Damn
no
it.
more PP money.
There's only PP money on OnlyFans. Damn
Yeah,
it.
so that's
We got to
big-
start the PigsPod OnlyFans.
Oh my God, we absolutely should. But that was, so for businesses like us, it was really hard. But the people that are complaining about how hard COVID was,
Yeah, it's not.
they weren't there. They didn't experience the pain.
That's
like
what I
we
was getting at.
experienced.
I'm not saying nobody struggled. I'm
Yeah.
saying the majority of people bitching are just using it as an excuse.
They are. They use it as an excuse. They hid behind it. They use it as an excuse to increase prices. Oh
Yeah.
no, the supply chain. Nothing's about the supply chain. None of
Well,
this.
you
is
seen
about the
all?
supply chain.
I don't know how I got on on Trucker or TikTok. I have no idea. Have you seen the amount of shipments that are getting denied and trucks that are being barely filled and all this bullshit that they're purposely limiting the supply so that they can, increase demand themselves and control the price and then go, it's hard out here. The pandemic, we've got to raise milk up. We've got to raise gas. Isn't gas starting to go back up now?
Yeah, well, OPEC,
And then
I
they
mean,
go,
had
God
announced-
damn it,
yeah.
Brandon.
Well, and that's something that I watched the thing. I was watching something on the news about it. Is that OPEC has decided that they want to cut production, which means the prices are going to go up, and
Because they make more money.
right. I'm not a Biden fan by any means, but I did like what he was saying and what a lot of lawmakers are saying of like, oh, OPEC, you wanna cut demand because you are in bed with Russia, and raising gas prices hurts the West. Well, that's cool. We'll just not militarily support Saudi Arabia. We're not gonna support these countries that are a part of OPEC. You go ahead and you want to lean on Russia for finances, lean on them for defense too, because we're gonna fucking let you deal with Iran yourself. Like I'm fucking there. Let's do it. And even Biden is saying like, fuck them if that's what they want to do. So what
Let's
he's doing,
go, Brandon.
yeah, they're calling him Dark Brandon, and I fucking think it's
Yeah, I
hilarious.
saw that.
Like I love the Dark Brandon memes, and it's just like fine. He's talking about
It sucks that, along with the pandemic, people did this with Trump too, but I feel like more of it was legitimate. But people still do it with Biden, putting blame on the president for all the things that a lot of the time they don't actually have control of.
That's been a thing since that
Forever.
Well, it got worse. It got worse when Clinton was in office
Yeah,
because you had
because he was getting fucking blowjobs.
before that you had Newt Gingrich.
Oh.
Newt Gingrich, which
He was getting blowjobs.
yes. Yeah, probably considering he divorced his wife when he found out she had brain cancer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
dude.
he's
Real
fucking
good
piece,
guy.
he's a fucking piece of shit. But
Ooh, your brain brokey. I sorry. I go bye bye now.
that's basically what he did. But he was the head of the Republican Party. He was the Speaker of the House for the Republicans. And
Yeah.
he came out very early on during Clinton's administration and said, we're going to do everything we can to make you a one-term president. And that's what he said. He said that to Clinton, we're going to do everything we can to make you a one-term president, which basically said, we don't care what you support, we're going to be against it. And that's
Well, that's my favorite thing. Have you
that's where
seen?
it stared. Was back in the 90s, and that's where everything went to shit.
It was a Key and Peele skit. Have you seen that Key and Peele skit? You know how he does his Obama? Mm-hmm. Where he was say, you know how they automatically disagree with the other party,
Right.
even if it's something that they've been for years saying, "Oh, that's what we want. This is what we want." So the whole Key and Peele skit is him as Obama saying, "We want to build the wall and keep the immigrants out because they're ruining the country," and all the Dems in the room or the Republicans in the room are like, no, we disagree. And he's like, great, we won't do that. We won't build the wall. Next object on the list. And like, it's him tricking them by saying things that they actually want, but they're so inclined that they have to disagree with him that he gets everything that he wants just by reverse psychology on him.
Well, I mean,
That's why politics is fucking bullshit.
I just
Everyone just wants to disagree with the other one. Hardly anyone thinks for themselves and actually thinks about, do I support the issue or not? That's why I've always said I don't identify with any of them. There's some shit Republicans say that it's dumb as fuck, and there's stuff that Democrats say that I'm not going to support that. Well, I'm not going to say I'm a Democrat because then now you're saying that every single thing that they agree with, I have to agree with too.
That's why I
So I
call
don't even
myself.
identify as either.
That's why I call myself a leftist now, and be like,
Yeah,
no,
I'm a vermin supremacist.
yeah, I'm a vermin supremacist at this point. Vermin supremacist. But like, people right now, they're all up in arms over the Hunter Biden stuff. Like, oh, Hunter Biden's going to go to jail, and that's the
Okay.
Republican rallying cry. The Republican, he's going to jail, and people like me are like, did he do something wrong? Yeah, he did something wrong. Yeah, he probably deserves to be in jail then.
Okay. Can we
Okay.
put Trump in jail too then? Or?
Yeah, that's my
No,
thing.
not that. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, if you do something wrong, you should go to jail.
What about all the people that went to Epstein's Island like more than a
Yes.
dozen times? No? Yeah? No?
Yeah.
We'll just forget about them because the two main ones are gone? Okay. Yep.
Same thing
All
with
right.
like the fact that it is blatantly obvious that Nancy Pelosi is committing insider trading. Like you can
No.
look, yeah, it's like people are just like, she should go to jail.
Politicians don't do that.
Yeah.
They swear on a Bible cue.
Well, see, here's the thing. All right, in professional sports, whether it be billiards or football,
What's that?
yeah, or NASCAR or anything, it is against the rules for them to bet on sports.
Yeah, you can't play football and have a fantasy football league
Well, you
on
can.
fucking DraftKings.
Yeah, as long as you're not making money on it, which is really
Yeah.
funny if you listen to people. But anyway, you can't bet on games to make money. Pete Rose is not going into the Hall of Fame because of it, even though I think he should be.
Yeah. But then all the people in Congress can buy stock.
And
It's
yeah.
fucking nuts.
Exactly. They're able to do the exact same thing.
And it's crazy
it's
how
not a
many
problem.
times we've been able to prove 6 months before something happens, all of a sudden they make a big move and look, pays off.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, and
Lucky again.
That's what I'm saying is like they drug Pete Rose before Congress and made him do all these testimonies. They drug Barry Bonds and Sammy Sosa during the steroid era and all that about all these things that they're doing that hurts the sport. When
I say let them. It hurts the sport if you don't have them on steroids, in my opinion. Let them all drug up.
I think that they should create a league in every sport. And,
Yeah.
and
You know
that-
what?
and-
Bring it around to our original conversation. They should have a Call of Duty league that's nothing but hackers. I want to
That's
see
fine.
how fucking wild it gets.
Yeah, that's fine. It's the same thing. It create a situation where everyone's juicing. Who can juice the most?
Yeah.
Like, all right, and now say, okay, we're gonna create a baseball league where
Can
everyone's.
you imagine different stadiums that
Yeah.
it's like 200 yards further
That's
back
what I was
to
getting
the
ready to
fence?
say. It's like, okay, it's no longer 500 feet. It's now 800 feet. Let's go ahead.
Now it's a spectacle.
Now-
Now I kind of want to watch baseball.
Now you want to watch baseball because can Pujols hit this one out of the park? Let's see him
Yeah,
try.
and they get to the point they got to start making better baseballs because they're
Yeah.
just obliterating them above the home plate, just and just
I-
fucking blows out. They're like,
I-
"Fuck, we need harder baseballs."
I still believe there's two things happening around the Albert Pujols home run thing, and I think he's a good guy. He's a decent human being, but I think two things they're doing. That he's doing one. I think he's using corked bats because in numerous occasions you see him switch bats in the middle of an at bat. And number two,
Yeah.
if you watch his at bats, the pitchers are giving him fucking just
Easy
sweetheart,
peasy
yeah,
cotton
sweetheart,
candy?
yeah, sweetheart
Whoop,
throws,
whoop.
just so
throwing
they
it
so
into
they
'em.
so they can be a part of history because that will be a,
'Cause they're not going to get into the stat book on their own.
right. Yeah, they want to be a part of that sports trivia. 50 years from now. All right, Albert
could see
Pujols
it.
hits his 63rd home run. Who was the pitcher?
Yeah.
And-
Aren't there so many movies about how rigged sports are, but especially baseball? I feel like baseball's got to be one of the most rigged.
Baseball
out of all of
is.
them.
Well, you remember, and then Will Smith did the movie about the concussions that just basically got in the NFL. They got
Yeah.
swept completely under the rug. That the NFL had known about the dangers of concussions for years, decades.
Like last week,
Yeah. The fact that Tua literally was going through the reset, like his brain was resetting from that fucking concussion.
I'm good, guys.
Yeah, and they're like, just put him back in, he'll be fine.
Which way are we going again? Are we the blue ones?
Like, it's the same thing. It's like they know how bad this is.
I love how they didn't do anything about it until after the uproar online.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh well, we fired the guy that said he should go back in. Why didn't you do that?
Yeah.
There.
Why was he even there in the first place? Because everyone knew he should not have been back in.
Yeah, and he's not the
Everyone's-
only one.
Right.
You know how many other people can say no? I don't think so too. You're not going back out there. Everyone else just went, oh well, we can put the blame on that guy when it comes back to bite us. So
Well, he
Fuck
was.
it.
He was absolutely the scapegoat.
because money.
Right. But I mean, like I said, and that loops all the way right back around to our opening conversation about Nadia. You know, is
Is it
she
okay to cheat?
Is it okay to cheat? You know,
And again, I say sports and content creation. It's okay to cheat if it's for entertainment. If you're doing it for money, then no. Unless everyone's allowed to do it, then we'll create a separate league where everyone can do it.
a hackers league. Everybody
For
has
video-
one. Could you imagine if you played in a 50 on 50 or just whatever like a 100-person battle royale where everybody had wall hacks?
Everybody's. How would that even work? That would suck so bad.
That would be the
You just-
best. Because no, you know,
It's everyone's holding their button as soon as everyone spawns, and who won? Oh dang! It's just the luck of the draw.
well, it would either be everyone is running around trying to kill the other person, or
Oh, just people zooming.
Yeah, or-
Oh, fuck! I can't see him. Where'd he go?
or everybody's camping. There will be no in between.
Everyone camps in competitive games. It's annoying. And I get it though, because the money. But
I was watching
know.
I watched a TikTok where a guy was like, "I'm going to win a game of Fortnite by sitting in a chair the entire match." And
yeah, I've seen that one.
what he's him and his buddy are playing, and they parachute and they stay in the air until the second circle happens. They were able to stay in that long, and he lands in like the dead center of the map, and like runs into a bush and sits in a chair, and then his buddy goes on just like an absolute just tear, killing everybody. And then when it gets down to the final two people, he gets up out of his chair, runs into the other room, and unplugs his buddy's computer.
Yeah, unplugs it, and so he wins.
It's like, see, that's funny. Like, I appreciate that. But I mean, the whole thing with Nadia, the more I'm trying to.
I know what you're saying. She's not hot enough to do it.
She's kind of cute though. Like, I don't want to say she's not hot by any means, but I mean, if she keeps her mouth shut, she's fine. But the attitude that she brings, I just don't
Yeah.
like. I don't like the attitude because it's not genuine.
No,
Like, it's very much, it's definitely a facade. Like, I'm the greatest, and you need to watch my stream because I'm going to put up 50 kills because I'm the greatest.
it's different than Doctor Disrespect. I like his persona. It's hilarious.
But
She does it she does it in a way that makes you not like her though.
yeah, and I guess, you know, is that a sexist thing for saying that? Because part
Yep.
of, you know, I mean, maybe
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Q is sexist.
I mean, maybe it kind of is, but then on the other hand, if I watch Disrespect play, and half the time he's going to get killed, that's fine. He plays into that. That's part of the thing, you know, or the idea of, well, if they killed me, they're cheating, you know, and that's fine. Like, that's his thing. But the turnaround and to you be the one that's purposely cheating, and then claiming to be the greatest. You know, at least with Disrespect, he claims to be the greatest, and then somebody puts him in his place, and then he just calls them cheaters, and that's
Oh
fine.
yeah, that's funny. Yeah,
that's funny. But, you know, she's not even
Well, some
giving
people are born entertainers, and some people are just
tryhards.
taking advantage of the opportunity that they've been given, and smartly, rightly so, I guess.
I mean, and she's making money at it. We're talking about it. She's getting views and follows and donations and tips and whatever it is that, you know, whatever platform she's on making money, you know, she's making money doing
It's working.
it.
Yeah.
It's working. So who are we to down her when, you know, she's doing way more than we could ever imagine doing.
I might need to start. What I'll do, I'm gonna become a VTuber. You know, and I'm gonna get a half decent. I'll look half decent. I'm gonna do a voice changer. I'm gonna have an attitude, and I'm just gonna cheat. I'm gonna go right to the fucking top. Q, you ready?
Yeah, I mean, But are you going to admit that you're cheating, or are you going to, pretend that you're not?
I'm
'Cause
going to
that's
follow
the
the winning formula.
I don't know.
I'm not cheating. I'll see you guys at TwitchCon.
Yeah, and then just not
I'm
show up. Yeah, or
and
no, it's just not working. I don't understand. My connection's
my
not.
controller died.
Yeah, the
It's fucking
controllers. Yeah,
the connection here sucks,
yeah. This
man.
is terrible. We're all on fucking zero ping, and
How do VTubers do like cons? They still go, right?
yeah. Well, she did. She went to that
Yeah,
phase
she's at
event.
TwitchCon right now.
Yeah, she went to that phase event and just got embarrassed. And
Yeah.
the whole game was like, I don't know what's wrong. This, well, she was blamed. She didn't have her controller because she has one
Yeah,
of the she has
this
one
or
of the,
that or
Yeah,
that.
she
See, that's
had the
what I'll
modded
do.
controller. Yeah, she had some modded controller.
I'll have all the excuses ready to go.
Yeah, she
Did you
has.
see the shit that happened at TwitchCon? I was
Nah,
just thinking of it.
what was
You
going on?
know
I don't pay-
Adriana Check It, right?
Sure. What?
Adriana Check It.
Who the fuck is that?
She's a adult performer, but she's been kind of doing
Oh,
well on Twitch.
yeah, I saw something about that. I don't know the.
Yeah. She broke her fucking back at TwitchCon. So they have this little area that has like foam, the foam cubes
Yeah.
that you like dive into. Well,
Yeah.
it only has like 1 or 2 layers. It's
Oh,
not
no.
a pit. So a bunch of people have been getting hurt, but she was one of them. She like jumped off of one of the poles they had thinking it was like a foam pit because it has that appearance, but it's really just like one layer of those foam cubes. So she hit really fucking hard.
Oh man.
And I guess they're saying she broke her back in 2 different places. So she's going to have to rely on Twitch and not the adult stuff for a minute.
Well, I mean, there's a kink for that. So I mean,
Oh, you're right. You're right. She will get some special videos out of this.
yeah, it's like. I mean, it takes all kinds. Huh. I mean, that sucks. Like, I mean, all jokes aside, I hate that for anybody, and
Yeah.
that's just
I'd rather that happen to Nadia than a joke.
Yeah, I was say, I don't.
I'd rather not nobody.
I hate seeing anybody. Get
I don't
hurt
know
in
what that
situation.
sentence was I just said. I'd rather
Yeah.
not nobody.
I'd rather not nobody.
You know what the fuck I meant? I know Nike nobody hurt. That's what I'm trying to say.
Like I said, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
So it
wait-
all comes back to don't cheat unless you're doing it for entertainment and it's funny.
Yeah. Or even if it's not funny, and I mean, it's still
I
entertaining.
guess if you're thriving and you're making money, fucking go for it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what she's
In
doing.
a content sense, I better don't cheat in a tournament, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
Cheat to make content and make money off your content. That's fine.
Yeah.
Don't cheat at a tournament. That's a piece of shit move.
I
Yeah.
mean, you're creating content in your own, sterile bubble. Go for it, which is what she's doing. If the allegations are true and she is using a VPN to create bot lobbies, then who's she hurting?
I don't nobody.
I really want to get, and maybe I'll start using Twitter more to get into that conversation and say, like, I don't really support her for what she's doing, but if this is what she's doing, what does it matter? Where's the
Yeah.
harm? Because if she's in her own little bubble with no one else in it, she can do
Yeah,
the fuck
then
she
who's it?
wants.
Yeah.
She can.
Yeah, I think it's okay in that sense. I'm not gonna do it,
I wouldn't do it.
and I'm not gonna say everyone should cheat. Again, unless you're doing it for content.
Yeah, and if you're doing it in your own little bubble, you can't hurt anybody.
Yeah.
It's just such a gray area. Like, I mean, I want to be against it because I don't like the fact that these abilities are out there.
Yeah, I know it's wrong. Like, I think, in your heart, you know it's wrong, but at the same time, you're like, but she's doing it well and successful with it, and no, she's not. Nobody's suffering from it. I don't know.
This is what it's like to be a capitalist with morals. Because that's what this is. Like, she's making money, but she's not hurting anybody, so what does it matter? But it's morally wrong, so I shouldn't like it. But
Until she's too successful and rich, then fuck her.
I mean, she already is a part of the 1%, so
Yeah.
she should be served up on a platter with the rest of them, so fuck them. But from the gaming
Yeah.
perspective, she's not hurting anything.
Yeah,
And she's she's creating
fine.
content. She's
I don't know.
pushing our community as a whole, the gaming community.
Has she been plugging Facebook.com/PigsPod?
Well, not yet, but I can give it
Oh,
time.
well then I'm not on board. Fuck her.
Yeah.
If she's pushing our community, then yeah,
I just,
that's
I,
fine.
it drives me crazy that I can't quantify how I feel about it. I want to be
I don't know.
mad about it, but I don't see any problem with it.
I'm kind of like you. I'm in the middle. Let us know on Facebook.com/PigsPod or on Twitter. Q's getting on there more. I'm seeing him on there more.
Yeah, I'm trying to be more Twitter prolific. I don't know
What
how
are
to.
you on? Let's see. What are you? Q stick on there?
No, I think I'm just my regular name. I don't know.
Q stick. Oh,
What am I?
you can look up Q stick and it'll pop up. Or it's also John D Simpson.
Should I change it? Can I change it?
Yeah, you can change it. It'll pull up though if you type in Q stick, or you can find me on there, Oreo X.
I don't know enough
Yeah,
about Twitter.
let us know what you think about the Nadia situation. But we got to get to our cream of the week, though, Q.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope you've got a good one. I was wondering, and then I decided probably not, but it did occur to me earlier in the week. Should we call them bacon bits?
I like bacon bits.
I don't know. It's the cream of the week, or what's your bacon bit?
What's
I
my
don't know.
what's my bacon bit for this week?
What's your bacon grease? What's your bacon bit of the week? I don't know.
The cream of the week.
Cream of the week sounds so good,
Yeah,
though.
it really does. Cream of the week for me is, I guess, we haven't talked about it on this podcast at all, and I feel like we should. We had our session.
OnlyFans?
We had our session 0 for our D&D.
Oh, yeah. That thing.
That's basically my cream of the week, where I'm, Oreo is playing in a home.
You're excited to play a homebrew that Q has made.
Yeah, it's a homebrew. It's the Legend of Argentia.
It'll be streaming on Q's Twitch,
Yep.
Q Stick TV, which we're streaming the show live right now on. That a few of you came in. We'd love to see you.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
Twitch.tv/QStickTV.
Yep.
We're gonna stream. We're streaming. We're gonna start streaming our podcast there on Sundays, at 9 p.m. Eastern ish. Sometime
Ish.
It's close. But I guess that's.
Are we going to stream the games there probably on
Yes.
Wednesday nights then?
Yep.
Around the same 9 o'clock ish?
Yep, that's the plan. 9 p.m. Eastern time ish.
Be there or be square.
So watch Oreo play. Are you playing a chaotic evil character?
I think I'm neutral evil.
Chaotic neutral,
Neutral.
neutral evil.
One of those.
Yeah, something like that.
The step right below chaotic evil.
This is.
But the whole party's evil. That's going to be.
I was gonna say
interesting.
this is the first party that I've ever DM'd. Honestly, this is the first party that I've ever been with in general, DMing or playing as a character, that it's an all evil party. So
Going to be interesting how the things go.
I
hope you've got plenty of world for us to burn down.
I have quite a bit. I need to spend some more time world building.
Luckily, you can do that through the week. So when we burn down the tavern in the first episode, and you're like, "Fuck, I wasn't expecting them to get to the next town over, but I guess I got to work on it."
Well, I like I said, I have already created a jail and a town guard and police force.
Oh,
So,
good. We'll need that.
Yeah, so it's like we're
we
gonna
won't
play
burn
evil.
everything down, but we will steal and thieve and
Yeah.
pillage.
It's like I even have a courthouse and a judicial system set up. So,
Nice.
I'm trying to somewhat stay ahead of you guys as best as I can. So, but yeah, I mean, that's my cream of the week. I'm really excited and really nervous because
It's your first time. Oh, you're
It's my-
completely homebrew. I
this
think.
is my first D&D homebrew. I homebrewed a Star Wars role playing game a few years ago, but it only went maybe 3 or 4 sessions before we changed to something else because people wanted to play. We started playing D&D. Is the reason why we left that campaign. It's technically, we could go back to it if we ever wanted to go back to it, but I don't think that's going to happen. But this is the first time that I'm really trying to super branch out. And, I was playing in the Star Wars realm, so I had Star Wars content to pull from.
Yeah.
Because what that game was is it was a group of clones, and they had a Jedi Padawan with them, and they had gone out of range of the Republic's communication. So they went out and they completed a mission, and the mission ended with there being a burst of radiation that fried the clones' inhibitor chips. So when they came back into communication range, all of the I basically pulled all the clone players aside, and I gave them the execute order 66. And then my one Jedi Padawan, I gave him the speech of Obi-Wan Kenobi announcing that that the Jedi Temple had fallen and the Empire had been created, and that whole speech. And so the intent was to give the clones a choice. Were they going to kill their Padawan because of Order 66? Because they, even though the inhibitor chip was destroyed, they still knew what Order 66 was, but they weren't. They didn't have to carry it out like
They didn't do it.
yeah. And then they
But you still had a whole universe and all kinds of
right.
content.
I had
and
all of this information
characters
to pull from.
Right. Yeah.
Where this time I'm creating everything from scratch. You guys.
Yeah. So it has the potential to be even better,
well, yeah.
or be complete shit.
Or
so
be
we're gonna find out.
absolute dog shit, and that's what I'm scared about the most. Is it going to be absolute dog shit? So
I feel like we've got a good party, and we should be able to, even if there's, it's not great, we should be able to pull it together. But I feel like you've got a good enough head on your shoulders. I'm not worried about it. I think it'll be fine.
I hope
I think
so.
it'll be good.
Like I don't want to.
The hardest part is you created it, and if you're anything like me and every other human in the world, anything you make, you fucking hate.
Yeah.
You're not proud of it. You don't like it.
Well, and that's the thing is like I ran the first Curse of Strahd with you and the other group, and it went really, really well, and everybody had a great time. And then I'm running the other Curse of Strahd. We're running another group through the Curse of Strahd game, and they're having an absolute blast. They have great chemistry amongst each other, and they're incredibly funny and great to play with. So it's like, okay, how much of that is the environment and the tone that I've set, and just their abilities and in the story? Now I have to look at it as there's even more weight on me. I've got a good group. Everybody that plays in it, was kind of hand selected because I know their play styles and I know that they work well together. So I'm scared, man. I'm so nervous.
No, it'll be good.
Yeah.
You'll see. It'll be just fine.
I'm
We're
really
not going to burn down your whole world.
And that's if you burn down the whole world, that's fine. I don't have a problem with it.
And you're pretty good at rolling with punches when we do something completely unexpected, and completely skip over huge things that you planned so well, and then we're just like, fuck that, but we're not going in there.
And that's the really hard part. And this is where I'm going to really get some new experience. Is as a DM in homebrewing, I could spend. I've spent so much time creating all of these different locations and whatnot, and I'm not going to go there.
We just never.
You just never go. And I have to be able to make content up on the fly, and I think I can do that fairly well.
You can always rename a place, and then we end up going there.
That's
anyways.
true. There's that, and then I think the real struggle that I'm going to have as a DM is balancing it with the viewers, because it is going to be streamed for them to
live
see.
stream and throw some biddies in there to change things up and whatnot.
People are going to be throwing bits in to change things, and so I'm going to be managing all of these things as well. I think that's where the learning to or trying. Well, I won't say learning, trying to keep it entertaining for everyone, because there's going to be a point where I'm expecting you guys to go this way, and then you guys are like, nah, we're going to go over here. So now I've got to be like, oh, shit.
Split the party.
Yeah, well, not even that. It's just like, well, now I need to create this over here because I never even considered you guys going there, but I got to create it. There's a meme that was going around on Twitter that I really thought was funny, It was a DM talking about how he made a huge mistake as a DM. He went back and was playing like a game that was a flashback to like a prequel to his current campaign, and
Yeah.
he put in there was a mountain in this prequel that wasn't in his main game. So everybody was like, "Oh man, what happened to this mountain? I can't wait to find out why this mountain no longer exists in the main game." And the DM's like, "Me too. I can't wait to figure that out too."
Yeah, I can't wait until I come up with that too.
Excuse me. And as a DM, that's something that you struggle with. Is kind of like, "Oh shit, you know, you're always
Yeah,
having
something
to."
you didn't think about, and we asked just the right question. You go, oh fuck.
Yeah. And,
I don't know.
Yeah, and it's
We're gonna end it here. We're gonna find out next week.
yeah, exactly. And that's kind of been there, and I've done that because that's just
That's where your improvisation skills are gonna come in.
right, and that's
And yeah, I think the other thing, you're pretty good at yes anding. You don't really ever shut down and go, no,
yeah. Well,
no,
yeah, that's
we're not doing that.
well, one of the things that when I got into doing DMing in the beginning, I watched a ton of videos on like how to
Yeah.
be a good DM, and I don't remember who it was I was watching. He said you need to be a DM that's yes but, and I didn't understand what he meant.
Instead of yes and. Oh, I get it. Yes,
Yeah.
but.
Yes, but and now that I've been a DM for nearly 6 years, I definitely get that. It's like, can I do this? Yes, but, or you
Yeah,
have
explain it, make it work.
right. And one of the things that your group will see that's kind of become a running joke in my current group is the phrase, "Well, you can certainly try." Like, well, can I do this? You can try.
Or you could try. If
Yeah.
you roll a nat 20, I'll say you do it. Go ahead.
And that's basically what it is. It's like, I want to do this. Well, you can certainly try, and
I want to fuck the dragon. Well, you're a donkey. I don't think it'll work.
you can hit
You can
rolls.
try, though.
He rolls 20 for charisma, and you're just like,
Roll 20 for performance. Go
yeah,
ahead.
fuck it. And that's basically so it's a really big challenge. This is going to be the biggest gaming challenge I think I have ever had.
Yeah.
Is
Well, it's
doing
come up
this.
in a few days. No, there he goes. He's drinking, thinking about it.
Well, I had to take the head off of it. I was about to
Oh.
spew it, but no.
Okay,
That's
well, it'll be fun. Make sure you tune in. Q-Stick TV
Q-Stick,
on Twitch TV.
Q-Stick TV on Twitch TV.
Double TVs.
Yep, TVs for you.
Speaking of TV, though, my cream of the week. It's not really on TV, though, but it technically is. It's on Netflix. So I started watching just today. I'm on the second episode. Just because I was curious. I think we talked about it because we were talking about the Edge Runners anime that's based off of Cyberpunk, which is done by CD Projekt Red.
Right.
Well, they have another show that's actually just as successful, if not more so, maybe, based on their Witcher game, which I've never played. I don't know the universe. I know nothing about it.
Right.
I watched the first episode of Witcher today while I was drawing some stuff. Holy fuck, bro. The first episode of that show is better than this entire season of House of Dragon.
I have heard like tons and tons of good things about it because I have never played The Witcher, and
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it other than it's like medieval times. That's all I knew.
it's like medieval fantasy is basically
Yeah.
or just that's all
From what
know.
I understand, a Witcher is basically like a semi-magical bounty hunter. And they go around kind of supernaturaling it, where they go, I'll get rid of your goblin for a price.
Right.
I'll take care of it. And so they're known as Witchers. So like humans don't like them, and like certain people don't like them, and certain people look down on them. But anytime there's a problem or a creature or something that has to be handled, you like when they come into town because they're going to solve it. So yeah, the very first episode, kind of like Game of Thrones wise, there's naked people, there's a sex scene. No spoilers, but soon after sex, somebody dies.
Sounds about right.
Dude, the first episode blew me away. Like, it was so fucking good. There's one point too, he's got like a creature that he killed and is like hanging off of a horse, and like the effects, it's not CGI. At least I'm pretty sure it's not. It'd be fucking amazing if it was. There's a little like hoof of the creature like hanging off of the horse, and it looks so good. Like, and the battle that's in the first episode, fuck, like it's crazy. It's really good. So even if you know nothing about, I feel like a lot of people didn't even know that that's another CD Project Red thing. Yeah, and there's 2 seasons of it, I believe. Was crazy successful. I'm pretty sure they're doing a third season. So good for CD Project Red. They're 2 for 2 on on what would you call that? Commercializing your IP.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah.
Edge Runners was fucking amazingly successful and it's incredible. And so far, I'm 2 episodes in. The Witcher, really good.
I like how we're talking about a show that's been on for what, 2 years?
Yeah. Well, I figured there's got to be other people that haven't seen it. Even though
I haven't
every
watched
time a new season comes out, it's on the top of Netflix for
Yeah.
a long time. Like I don't know
I
how much fucking money they spent on the show, but it looks expensive.
I've never watched Witcher. I still haven't watched House of Dragons. I need to. I just haven't had time.
Oh,
I haven't
Witcher
watched.
season 3 is coming out next year,
Yeah,
so there you
you
go.
go.
Maybe
Yeah.
wait till then and watch it all. House of Dragons is good. It's just I think I don't like it because it focuses on the politics of things. There's not as much like battles and like
Gotcha.
gore and I mean it has sex and whatnot in it, but like it's so focused on the politics. It's kind of like fucking get to the point. Something happened. It's
Yeah,
so
kill somebody or
boring.
fuck somebody. One of the two.
Yeah. Whereas Rings of Power, the Lord of the Rings show, doesn't focus on the politics. It focuses on the character and the world building, and it's fucking fantastic.
Is it?
But then you get people online that go, "Lord of the Rings is boring and stupid." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? House of Dragons is boring and stupid
I
to
haven't.
me."
I haven't watched it yet. Like I'll tell you, I've been a bad nerd. I haven't watched House of Dragons. I haven't watched Rings of Power, and I haven't watched the Andor series yet. I haven't watched any of them.
I've only watched one episode. See, this is where I'm so weird. I fucking love Game of Thrones.
Loved it.
House of Dragons sucks. I
Really?
love Star Wars. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. The first episode of Andor turned me off so bad. That's all I watched.
I haven't watched the season finale of the last season of the Halo the show.
Oh, I haven't watched any of that.
Like as soon as we started seeing Master Chief's ass, I was kind of like, and I'm out. It's
Yeah,
just
as soon as you finished, it was off.
Yeah.
I got it.
I just I don't know. I can't. I didn't like it. I tried to
think-
like it. It had moments of like greatness when he
It's not-
when he hijacked
It's
the Banshee.
like how long we've been saying the new Halo games are okay games. They're not a okay. Halo 5. Halo 5 is a good game. It's not a Halo game. The same way the Halo TV show is a good show. I don't know if it's a good show though. It's not a Halo show. It's a B sci-fi show.
Yeah, it's not even B. Like
From what I've seen,
like
I haven't
Firefly
watched
is
it.
better.
From the clips that I've seen of it, it's a B sci-fi show. I haven't watched it. And I'm not gonna watch it. It looks awful. There's too much good stuff out to watch. Even if you just count the last 5 years, there's so much shit that you could watch. You don't have to watch bad stuff.
My thing is, and Star Wars has done it, Halo has now done it, and Rings of Power's doing it. And it is, why are you changing the content that's already there?
Maybe that's why I like Rings of Power and a lot of people don't. I don't know anything about the Lord of the Rings universe. I've seen all the other movies one time. I don't really remember anything. I get the gist of it. But me watching Rings of Power, I fucking really enjoying it.
Well, and I guess that's where I'm losing it because, they had all of the books leading up through the Halo universe.
Yeah.
Why do you need to change that? Why do you need to change John's story to make him this like outlawish type person? When
Well, again, they wanna have him. We gotta make him likable by the masses, and it's like he already fucking was. I don't.
well, that's the thing is like the people that aren't playing Halo aren't watching the show. They're just not. They don't care. So
Yeah.
give us that story. Put it in real time. Give us this what we're looking for because that story we already know the story. We just want to see it on on video. We know how John was created. We know about the coin flip. We know he was lucky. We know what Halsey was doing, and we know what Keyes was doing. We know these things. Just give it to us in a visual format. It's not that big a deal.
Well, it's crazy how much source material they have to go off of too.
Right.
And they were like, let's just use like the names and the characters and just fuck the rest of it.
Yeah, and then the same thing. The same thing with Star Wars. There were tons of books that were already out there. There was already information that was already put in place. The people that were going to watch Star Wars were going to watch Star Wars regardless. Like, oh man, I know what's going to happen with Han Solo and Leia. We know that their son dies.
Wait, what?
That's what happens in the book.
Oh.
Yeah. And we knew in the book that they had 3 children, Jason, Janna, and Anakin. And Jason turns to the dark side. Janna goes to the Mandalorians and becomes a Jedi Mandalorian to hunt down her brother and turn him back to the light side. And Anakin survives, but Chewbacca dies saving his life, and now Anakin carries this guilt that his dad's best friend died saving him. Who cares if we already know these things happen? That's a cool fucking storyline.
Yeah, I want to fucking see it happen.
In the book, the new bad guys have the power to move planets. Like, they're able to use gravity and pull planets out of orbit. So they crash a moon onto a planet. So as this moon is crashing down on top of the planet, Han is trying to get the kids off the planet. The youngest is stuck. Chewie jumps down out of the Millennium Falcon, grabs little Anakin, and throws him up into the Millennium Falcon as the debris comes down and crushes Chewbacca. And Chewbacca dies. And
why would you put that to film, Q? That's stupid.
Yeah. And so so now you have Han Solo going through this just absolute grief and depression of losing his best friend. You have the youngest Anakin doesn't want to talk to his dad because he doesn't want to upset his dad. His dad doesn't want to talk to his youngest son because he just sees his best friend dying. Leia's trying to hold the whole fucking Republic together as all this shit's going down. Meanwhile, the greatest 2 Jedi twins, Jason and Janna Solo, are having a battle of conscience. And Jason falls to the dark side. And all this shit's going down. Why the fuck would you not want to see that on why the fuck not?
I don't know.
And then the same thing with the Rings of Power. They're completely was a Galadriel. They're completely fucking her storyline. She wasn't this amazing badass, person. That's not who she was. She was just a high elf. That's it.
Oh, well, she is in the show.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is she was just a high elf. She got one of the rings, and she was duped by Sauron just like everyone else was. But the elves were able to resist the pull of the rings. The rings were... Sauron created the rings specifically to control the dwarves, the elves, and men. The men were not able to resist the pull of power, and the 9 men, the 9 kings, they fell and became the ring wraiths. They were the ring wraiths in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. They were the 9 human kings that Sauron used to take over the humans. He tried to take over the dwarves and failed. He tried to take over the elves and failed. He managed to take over the humans, and it was the one ring that he created that was supposed to control everything. And
well, maybe I'm disconnected just enough that it doesn't bother me.
Yeah,
and I like what they're doing.
And like I said,
because I don't know, my wife was like, "Oh, she's in the original one." I'm like, "Who?" She's like, "Oh, the one, the all white elf in the forest." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, and she had a very heavily implied love relationship. It was never in the original. It was never in the Silmarillion, which is what the Rings of Power are loosely based on. And it wasn't in the movies, but it was kind of implied in the books and kind of implied in the movies that Galadriel and Gandalf might have had a thing.
Oh, damn.
That was implied.
Well, it's not in the show yet. I'll tell
Yeah.
you that.
Well,
Spoiler alert.
I don't know what's going to happen with that
I
because
don't know
they
either.
changed Galadriel's complete story because
Yeah.
they were just they needed a character, and I hate this because I'm going to sound like the anti woke person, but they wanted to make a strong female character, so they took a character that was already a strong female character in Galadriel
Just made her even stronger, and oh, she's a
and
badass.
just bastardized her. She didn't.
Yeah.
Galadriel was badass because she was a fucking she was a high elf.
I guess that'd be hard though. Okay, you want to make a female character, but you're like, oh well, we have to pull from what we have to make it fit in this timeline at this
Yeah.
time.
Well, there was no that that wasn't. Well, I take that back. You already had a badass female character in Lord of the Rings. That's what
Who?
Eowyn.
Oh,
Eowyn.
the elf lady.
No, that's Arwen. That people get those two mixed up. Do you
I don't
remember?
know either of them.
At the end of near the end of Return of the King, where the horse riders, the Rohirrim, were going to save Gondor. They were going to the beacons have been lit, and they're going to go to Gondor. Gondor calls for aid, and King Theoden's daughter, who also had a thing for Aragorn, posed as a guy. And I remember at the end where the ring wraith has her down and he goes, "You can't defeat me. No man can defeat me." And she takes her helmet off and she says, "I am no man." And she
Yeah,
kills
they
him.
show a flashback of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's your strong female character because
When was she alive though?
she was alive during the fourth age, third
Is
age.
she alive during the time on the show?
No.
Okay, well then you got to pick a different one
Yeah,
because
but
the show happens before Middle Earth or Mordor is a thing.
Right. This is the show takes place in the first age. Because the first age is
I don't know what those mean.
All right, so
I know there's Middle Earth and there's elves and there's dwarves.
there's basically 4 eras in Middle Earth. You had the first age, which was from the creation of Middle Earth until Sauron came to power. All right, and then you had from Sauron coming to power until Isildur cuts the ring off his finger, which was in the lead up to Lord of the Rings.
Also, that might happen if they do a second season of this show.
It's possible.
It could cover that.
Right. And then the third age takes place from the ring being lost and Gollum finding the ring through.
Precious.
And then once Frodo casts the ring into the fire and Sauron is defeated, that's the end of the third age.
That's fourth age.
And then the
Do
beginning.
they have anything in the fourth age?
It's yes. Well,
Maybe books.
it's all books because Tolkien.
Tolkien's not alive anymore.
No,
right?
he's
Weren't those written a long time ago?
Yeah, Tolkien. One of my favorite pieces of trivia is the fact that C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien were very close friends. So they were bouncing the ideas of the Chronicles of Narnia and the Lord of the Rings off of each other. That's why if you really read them together, you see that there was a lot of similarities.
I don't know who C.S. Lewis is, but out of context, I'm guessing that he wrote the Narnia.
Yeah, he wrote
series.
the Chronicles of Narnia. Lion, the
It's
Witch,
too
and the
bad
Wardrobe.
those shows weren't nearly as good.
Yeah, I agree. But they said it was all written during World War One, and that was the whole.
The problem is nowadays everything. There were geniuses like this back in the day, and now all you see are like copycats.
Well,
There's almost nobody trying to make new shit. Everyone's like, let's redo the stuff we already have. And it's like,
I'll actually counter that and say there's so much media out there that I think some of the best writers get completely buried in just who has the best publicist.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
And the other thing is like the same problem we have with like actors. There's
Right.
probably other fucking amazing actors out there, but we never see them because who's gonna go see Top Gun with some guy named Jerry Bruckheimer? I've never heard of him. I want to see fucking Tom Cruise.
Right.
And you don't know
Right.
that. Well, number one, Tom Cruise is not a good actor. Miles Teller acts circles around him in
Oh, man,
the
so
Top
good.
Gun movie.
So good.
But you don't know Jerry Bruckheimer's fucking amazing. Also a better actor than Tom Cruise. And you'll never know because the money's not there. Again, capitalism.
Right.
Comes down to the money.
But-
Follow the money.
What I love about the Lord of the Rings trilogy is that it was written as a kind of like a very, very filtered view of what the world was going to be like post World War One, because it talks about, like, it has some really cool themes, because there's the beginning of technology. You have Suleiman creating explosives and like all this new technology into the Middle Earth that we saw after World War One. Because of World War One, all of this new technology was created.
Oh, so he's like imagining what
Yeah,
would happen
it's a cool,
in this,
it's a
his
cool,
world.
yeah, it's a cool commentary. And, and what is the big game changer in Middle Earth at the end?
Orcs are sexy.
No, we're
what?
close. Rise the men of the West. That was the whole thing. Rise the men of the West. They are the new power in Middle Earth. Okay, that is a direct reference to the rise of Western culture in the world. What made the difference in going into World War II? It was the United States. It was
Orcs were sexy. Oh,
once again, yes. And then here you have another piece of cultural commentary in the rise of women. No man can kill me.
yeah.
I am no
now
man.
we're in the
Yeah.
we're the age of females are badass.
Yeah.
Which
So
I'm totally on board.
Cool,
I always pick females when I play video
I
games
do
or
too.
characters or whatever.
But it's a really, if you look at it specifically from that context of he's directly giving commentary on what life is like and what it's going to be like in the future, as what Lord of the Rings is. It's actually really
in
cool.
that universe.
Yeah, it's actually like a really cool filter.
I've never read the book, so I don't know any of that.
Well,
I don't want to now because it'll ruin the show for me.
Well, here's the thing: there's only like 7 people on the planet that this show was actually really upsetting, because they read the Silmarillion book.
Well, they're the loudest, and they're on
Yeah.
Twitter complaining because every week, without fail,
Because the Silmarillion's
like literally after last week's episode or 2-3 days ago episode on Friday, I saw a couple people on Twitter. That's the worst episode of TV I've ever seen, and I watched it. I was like, okay, I haven't even watched the last couple episodes of House of Dragon because it's boring.
Well, what it is this is
They're not happy it didn't go the way they expected in their mind.
It did. It's not going the way the Silmarillion did, and the Silmarillion is never meant to be read. The Silmarillion is a fucking textbook. It's not meant to be read. It's like the Bible. It's not meant to be read from cover to cover. It's meant to be referenced. The Silmarillion, Tolkien wrote as, if you open the very first page, the very first chapter of the Silmarillion, it says, "In the beginning there was nothing." What does that remind you of? It reminds you of the Bible. And that's what the Silmarillion was.
I know. The November when Halo Infinite came out.
Yes, exactly.
In the beginning, there was nothing.
And there still isn't. But the Silmarillion is written like the Bible. It's meant to give you backstories and reference stories. There's a book set.
So is it supposed to be like a reference thing that you look at?
There's a book set that's out that I really, really want. That is The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings.
I can't believe you're this hard for Lord of the Rings and you haven't watched Rings of Power yet.
I know. That's why.
Are you scared, Q?
Yes.
What are you scared of?
That I'm scared that it's not going to be what I think it should be.
Stop being a pussy. It's a good show. They spent $1 billion on it.
Oh, I know. And they used a bunch of the assets from the original movies and whatnot. But there's a box set that's out there that's the Silmarillion, The Hobbit, and Lord of the Rings. And what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to start reading The Hobbit. And when Gandalf or something makes a reference to something that happened in the past, it would have a footnote.
Bible?
Yeah, it would have a footnote on the page that says "See Silmarillion page whatever," and you would go to that and you would read that.
I feel like there's probably like an hour video on YouTube I could just watch and bust that all out.
Probably
and have it all covered.
probably 2 hours because the Silmarillion's fucking long. But I mean, it goes into depth of, okay, all of, like, the elves came from a certain, like, the creator is Ea. And Ea had so many angels. Well, they had his version of angels. And what they did is where, God spoke things into being in the Bible. In the Silmarillion, him and his angels sang things into existence. The better they sang and the more cohesive they sang, the more they created. And then one of his angels, Melkor, wanted to sing dissonance and wanted to sing anti-harmonies and would not sing in unison with the others and created this dissonance. And he created the evil things. Melkor was the devil in comparison to modern
There's a super
Christianity.
mega nerd out there somewhere just screaming
Oh,
at you
he's
right now
no, and
because
he's
you're saying something
jerking.
wrong
No,
or
he's
something.
jerking things off. He's like, oh my god, he's right.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
Oh, my pages are stuck together on
Yeah,
it.
and then so he was cast out, and he decided to sing in his own song. That's what he wanted to do. Is he didn't want to sing in harmony. He wanted to sing in solo. He wanted to have all of the important songs to himself. So he begins singing his own songs and sings the evil things into existence. And one of the first things that he wanted his own choir to sing with him, to sing in harmony with him. So he created the Belrogs, and that's what Gandalf fought in Lord of the Rings. You shall not pass. That was a direct, creation of Melkor, and this was all happening in the Rings of Power time frame. And
Well, this is why everyone's upset because it's a religion to ultra nerds.
yes, it really is. Like these things were heavily, Christian inspired storylines. And once again, it was a commentary on what life was like back then. Everything was Judeo-Christian, and there was this this awakening of new Christianity in the West, and that was one of the things that was discussed. And
Isn't it so crazy? We're at the end of the episode soon. It's getting super long. We're pushing a Drunken Halo episode here.
Yeah, but at least we're good.
Isn't it so crazy that when you look back at like, you look back on books and like stuff that was written in the past, and like it comes to pass, and then all these people that go, oh, they predicted the future, and don't you think, well, not really. Maybe their influenced us to make the technology that could do that
Well, yeah,
because we'd read it and we always wanted it, and we're like, I want a telecommunicator, and then bam, cell phones.
well, no, I mean, I think that's we have things that are like you can. Although the replicators and stuff like that you saw, that is basically just modern, real world 3D printers and
Yeah.
so yeah, absolutely.
Well,
Science fiction, science fiction can easily become science fact.
Yeah. Well,
and
it's.
it
I
has
think
many,
it's
many
partially. It's partially them influencing it, but also it's just among human thought. Like, it's just a natural thing that's something we want, and we're eventually going to get to making it. Like, we want better communication, we want better creation, this and that.
I guess you could take it as far as saying, science fiction and science fact can be easily swapped as who came first, the chicken or the egg. Because
the chicken came first. That's how they made the egg.
I think the egg came first. Because that's where the chicken was born.
You can't make chicken eggs without chicken cum. So the chicken came first.
Neil deGrasse Tyson says the egg came first. So I agree with him.
Well, yeah, no, I've heard his argument because it would have been then the first chicken came out of that first chicken egg as it morphed from another thing.
Right, evolution.
Yeah. Welcome to Nerd Talk on our ADHD episode.
Exactly, it's very much been an ADHD episode.
I just thought of that when you were like, "What are we titling this episode?" I'm like, I don't know. It's 80. We're on episode 80.
Oh
ADHD,
yeah, I forgot to bring that up.
guess.
This is episode 80. So
Yeah, ADHD.
So we're 20 weeks from episode 100 if we can stick to our game.
20 weeks.
20 weeks.
We're gonna do episode 100 in 2030. What do you mean?
No, I believe 1, 2, 3. Hang on, 1, 2, 3. 4,
1, 2,
5,
3 in
6,
October.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
Oh
14,
darn!
15,
It's too bad we
16.
couldn't do it for like the new year.
The last weekend in February should be episode 100 if we can keep at it.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Be close.
So tune back in for that. I don't know what we're gonna do. If we need a guest or something, or maybe we'll bring Nadia on.
Yeah, she'll.
We'll say.
Yeah, we should be able
We'll
to
say,
afford
can
her.
you show us your alternate personality, Naughty Nadia? We've heard so much about it. I'm gonna hit her up. There's no way she doesn't have an OnlyFans, Naughty Nadia. She's missing out. Yeah. Other than that, though, we better end. It's fucking 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's been
or
a good
something
one.
like that.
Yeah.
Facebook.com/PigsPod or Twitter and look up Oreo with a 3 instead of an E. That should bring me up. It's OR30X, but just type. It's It's the one that has Oreos, and it's not the one that's a female singer. And Q Stick. It should bring it up if you just type Q Stick,
Yep.
because his at is different, but it looks like it brings it up if you just type Q Stick. Yeah. Other than that,
Yeah, follow us on Twitch. Right now,
yeah, Q Stick
twitch.tv,
TV.
QStick TV. And
Sub with your Prime sub.
yeah, I would really like the Prime subs.
Give Amazon your money and Q the cents,
Yeah, I don't know, the 50 cents I get or something like that.
if that.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
I still have not hit my first payout. Like I'm close.
Oh yeah, you got to hit a certain amount before
Yeah.
you get it. Yeah.
I'm pretty close to my first payout. So
Well, go hit him with your Prime subs
Yeah.
and get him there.
help me out. I'm close.
Here, I'll get you my Prime sub right now. There you go.
Oh,
Subscribe with Prime. Look at that. Oh, and I get emotes.
Bam! We gotta
Yeah,
create
and
some.
and check us on Wednesday on there as well for our
Yeah, and
D&D din.
yeah. Fuck yeah! Look at that. Got that Prime. Got that butter, sir.
We
Butter
got
emote.
butter and a target.
Yeah, that was when I was doing a lot of what's it called? Flight sim. You know, butter in that landing.
Mm.
But yeah, we need to. I guess I need to create a pig emote. I guess I need to get on that.
I used to have one. I don't know where it is anymore.
I'll have to work on that. So.
Oh, here you go. There you go. All right. Yeah. Other than that,
Yeah, I'll have to put that
I have
in
a
the-
couple of them.
Yeah, I'll have to put that in the emotes. Yeah.
And then I have an Oreo one too. All right. Yeah. Other than that, follow us live, or don't. Just listen to the podcast. Whatever.
Yeah,
Who cares? Or don't even listen.
it's fine. We're not
You
here for
you didn't even hear us tell you not to listen, so you're not listening.
Exactly. We're not here for
So
you.
therefore you are listening. Fuck, it's a paradox. So wait, if you didn't listen, so you didn't hear us tell you not to listen, so you listen. I don't know, Kip. Watch fucking Rings of Power, you pussy.
I will work on it this week. I promise.
Or watch The Witcher, whatever. It's
Yeah,
fucking great.
I'll work on it.
All right, bye, Q.
Bye, Oreo. And we'll stop streaming.